Monday on Tuesday. Everybody's here to play. Monday on Tuesday. We were off yesterday. We did a little bit of boating with Tom. We went out on his boat for the second time. They went Wawa subs. We went public subs. I was jealous the whole time you were eating because your sub was better than my sub. Your sub was a cut above the rest. My sub was below your sub. It was a bad sub. Public subs are overrated. Wawa subs are celebrated. Sorry. It is a corporate time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer's here. Butler's in the other room. He's got a supplier for brand new helmets. They're a-coming. Line up. Helmets are coming.
And I'm like, why? Where does this person get it from? He's like, oh yeah,
don't worry about it.
Don't
talk about
it.
it.
They get them and
they fall off the truck.
I'm like, why is this?
Yeah.
What is it? What is it? Anyway, so every once in a while, like gas prices go up by 2 pennies, and your pop-up is complaining about it, and you're like, why are you complaining, pop-up? It's 2 pennies.
Right.
Like, so how much?
Sure.
Like, you're filling up once. Like, even if my pop-up filled his car up once every 4 months because he didn't drive. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I was like,
I do
once
a yearly
week,
fill up.
You start doing the math, and you're like, there's a 30 cents difference. Yeah. Like, why are you spending so much time complaining about it? Like, it makes me so mad when people complain about the cents and stuff. Like, what is in the grand scheme of things?
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's the same thing with the helmets. It's like, what is it? What are you doing?
yeah. And then, but every once in a while, something happens. You're like, whoa, that is a lot. And then I'm like, is that the only way? Like, this is the only way?
This is the way. I tied it back in.
Don't.
I tied it back in.
Don't tie it in.
My wife told me, she's like, our homeowner's insurance went up. And I'm like, I'm thinking she's my pop-up complaining about like a couple dollars here and there. And then I'm like,
no, I asked my wife, per your question, if mine went up. And boy, did it. A lot.
So, and then she's like, it went up by $1,000 a year, or like $1,200 a year. I'm like, whoa.
What is it, like $100 a month or something?
Yeah, like it's about $100 a month.
That's a lot of dough.
And that's enough where I'm like,
yeah, now
wow.
we got a problem.
Then I started like,
that's
well,
not 2 cents.
Yeah. I was like, well, $100 a month is a lot. And then I'm like, well, is that the only way? And she's like, yeah, apparently all it's like across the board went up. And then I'm like, wow, that's weird. And then normally by something going up $100 with no other option out, a month is like, that's a lot of money for a lot of people.
Just imagine if your Planet Fitness did that.
Yeah.
Freak out.
And then Crystal was like, imagine the people on fixed incomes and budgets, older people.
It wrecks you. Yeah,
that's a lot of extra money. Anyway, and I'm glad we have an insurance sponsor that we could easily, because the first thing...
we could do this for another 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but you don't want that.
I'll tell you
nobody wants that.
Let the professionals speak, my God.
Yeah, I told my theories. I think it's the scammers moving north.
And it's funny because I don't even do theory. At least you're giving theories. I just make fun of your theories, which is way less.
And so one of our sponsors, Blanchard Insurance.
Blanchard?
BlanchardInsurance.com. And we've got Jamie Hoover, and she could tell us why our insurance is now $100 more a month. And maybe if my theory is correct... And
Jamie's not going to say that. No. Hi, Jamie. How are you?
Hi. Welcome to my show.
Welcome to Jamie's show. This is
that's
Jamie.
fine.
Jamie,
welcome
thanks
to
so
Blanchard Corner.
Thank you so much for having us on Blanchard Corner. Excuse me, Blanchard Corner.
I'm
Dan. This is Tom. Answer our question. Now, why are we finding across the board that insurance is rocketing?
Okay, so yes, we're getting a lot of calls. We've been really busy with this. It's only going to get worse in the next few years, so brace yourselves. A lot of the fraud has been setting in. So
I'm all right. The scammers moving north.
I think scammers are
people
everywhere.
getting on the roofs and the free roofs and we'll take care of the insurance for you. And from the hailstorm from 3 years ago, that's what we're paying for right now. That's what we're dealing with. So legitimate damage is legitimate damage and legitimate claims, but there is a lot of non-legitimate damage and non-legitimate claims going on, which is claims fraud. And the attorneys are lobbying, in Tallahassee to, keep the holes basically going in these insurance policies, and we're all paying for it. So that's where the number one situation is coming from, is the roof claims and the fraudulent claims right now.
So it's your friends. This is all your fault.
Too. So a few years ago, water claims have been, extra high, coming from South Florida up into Central Florida too. Contractors and water leak, the line on your fridge breaks and you're out of town.
Oh yeah.
And that's all your wood floors and your bottom cabinets and your counters and your top cabinets. And it's an $80,000 leak because you didn't change the filter on your fridge. That's what we're dealing with.
That's
right
bad.
Yeah, and Jamie, and I only make the jokes about because I grew up in Miami, and I'm not joking.
Are you saying that you're allowed to make the jokes?
No,
because you're from that area.
Yes, it is.
Those are your people. These are all his friends, Jamie. Like all the scamming that's going on.
Started this.
He knows everybody's scamming right now. The reason this is happening, these are all his high school friends.
It's a mentality. I'm not joking when I say I grew up with the mentality that if you told someone...
there is an underlining scam blanket on top of that area.
That if you told someone, you told the insurance company the truth, they would scream, "You idiot!"
Yeah.
You would like, you told them exactly what damage you had, and it was truthful. You idiot! Why would you do that? That was like you always tried to get the most out of everything, and that was a mentality.
There is a regional scam.
I think that's everywhere, but.
No, in that you're right though. You have introduced me to people, and you're like, before you meet this guy, you'll be like, I haven't seen him in 10 years. I'm going to describe to you who he is, and then the guy walks through the door.
It was the if something happens, then try to get the most out of it, and then it was almost like
abuse the system, so to speak.
There's an endless amount. Like these insurance companies they're billionaires. Don't worry, so you should get yours. That kind of mentality. But you're saying that has caught up with us now, and we're all paying for it.
Right, and that's the problem with anything. I mean, 10 years ago, it was auto claims, people running into each other, the PIP claims, the fraud, and you wonder why your auto is high. And so now we're dealing with that on the homeowner side as well. And I'm not defending insurance companies by any means. They have their own adjusters, with their own issues too. But nationally, it's an issue. And remember, we pay for insurance with any national scale issue. So if it's, wildfires in California, the insurance premiums are going up nationally already. And that's where your normal premiums are coming from, because it's insurance, and then it's another level of insurance and the reinsurance. And then that's where wildfires and floods and Superstorm Sandy played a big role in it with all the floods. So already insurance premiums were increasing because of national issues. And then you add in the fraud in Florida that we're dealing with right now. And that's creeping up to other states too. It's not just Florida. But that's why you're seeing the double. I mean, my own policy doubled. You're seeing guidelines stricter. So when you do call and you want us to requote your insurance, okay, how old's your water heater? How old's your roof? Because these are the risky items for the insurance companies right now. So now you're having to do some updates to your house to get your insurance premium back down.
How old's your water heater?
Really hard conversations.
How old's your roof?
My problem is the damn wiring. Apparently,
don't talk about it.
I have some sort of.
What if you pulled your ground rod out of the?
Stop talking. Don't talk about it. First of all, what you said was sexually wrong. You cannot say that.
Yeah.
And then secondly, don't talk about that.
My wife was yelling at me. She's like, "We can't go anywhere else because we got the wiring. Like, no one will take us because with the old wiring."
Yeah.
I'm like, "The wiring.
You're done."
I'm like, "What's wrong with it?"
My old wires in my old house were thick pieces. Jamie, I'm serious. The wires in my old home were thick, about the size of a Susan B. Anthony coin, and bright, shiny copper wrapped with old, like yellow newspaper.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Like the Declaration.
And that does happen. And, a few years ago, there were insurance companies taking these policies with no inspections required. Now those people are being canceled and non-renewed. And to go to a new insurance company, the guidelines are tighter and they need inspections and there is a cost involved.
You know what I did one time? You're going to hate me, Jamie. One time I was getting my father-in-law is an insurance agent. We had an old home from 1951, so the pipes that we had were metal. And they were like, no, you need PVC pipes in here. So I went out and I bought a can of white PVC spray coating, and I sprayed the pipes white. So my friend who was
worked.
So my friend who was doing he was doing, what do they call that? The thing that I always scam on. When they look at the house before they sell it to you, and they have to do
inspection.
Thank you. That's what it's called. So I was scammed on the inspection that the pipes are.
So, Jamie, could it also have to do with the amount of increased storm activity? Like, obviously, we had more named storms than we had the alphabet. It started getting into the Greek alphabet. Then it was, your favorite
Pig Latin
Star Wars movie. Like,
then it was Make Your Own Storm for a bit.
So,
believe it or not, that money for those storms is already allotted for in the premium that you're paying. So that the insurance companies would rather the money for named storms be allocated than fraudulent money. They're already planning on the hurricanes. They're already planning on the money and the insurance that they need to cover that. They're not prepared for the fraud. And that's the multiples on the fraud are extreme.
Jamie,
the attorney multiples and the $10,000 free roof that ends up costing $200,000.
Right.
Yeah. Now, Jamie, do you think we'll ever get to a point where, like, how car insurance, we're seeing some car insurance companies are actually like rewarding people for safe driving, and obviously, like, so they're saying
it's a
like
lot more highly monitored too.
Hey, if you never get in an accident and you were monitored, if you let us monitor your driving or speeding,
they're having you almost like you're opting into them being able to thumb you a little more.
And so we'll charge you less if you're a safe driver and you got all your S together.
I would do that to my house.
So, like, you think any homeowners insurance will ever get to the point where it's like, all right, like the first start with like, hey, if you were born in Miami, like, I'm out. Like, they're like, no homeowners insurance. You're too tainted.
That's very dangerous.
No, I'm just saying. You're too tainted by growing up in Miami. You're
sorry. We looked at your friends.
You look at insurance totally different than the rest of society. You're out. And I'm just saying, like, will we ever get to a point where homeowners insurance, where you can get it cheaper by like updating your house? I know there's some of that there, but like maybe no claims for X amount of years and you get deductions. Like, is there anything like that already?
Yeah, the insurance companies are already doing something called insurance scores, and it's insurance. It's not credit scoring, it's insurance scoring, and they're using your date of birth, how long you've been in the home, any claims you've had auto or home in the past, and any claims the home has had. So they take all of that into account when we bind a policy right now, and it's like an algorithm that works and increases or decreases your premium. So it's important to give the insurance agent, when you call us or them, all of your information, your names, your birth dates, your previous addresses. And it's important that you don't use your insurance policy as a home warranty type of home maintenance product. You need to be caring about the pride of ownership of your property and replacing, fittings under the sinks and plumbing and water heaters when you need to. And that's going to come more into play. You're going to see a lot more of that happen and being requested than you have in the past.
Gotcha. Now, Jamie, well, like my wife, she has an insurance family. And so
I've never heard of that. How do you
like her dad and everybody's in insurance?
I get it. I didn't know what you meant.
You don't want it to happen, and it happens. So I know.
So and my whole thing is we battle with this all the time. Like this, and Jamie may not want to hear this.
Probably not.
Well,
so
if it's as good as my PVC scam story, I don't know. I think she's lining up.
Again, talk to Jamie and talk to everybody at Blanchard. They'll let you know. Don't listen to me. But I constantly like.
Oh, you're still gonna do it, huh?
We have an older roof, and then every hurricane season that comes by, I make the comment, maybe we'll get a named storm, and it'll blow some shingles off, and then we can get a new roof, like actual damage. I'm not saying scam. I'm saying
and
maybe
the insurance company would rather that happen.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Different pool of money.
And I'm like, I'm not saying I'm up there raking the shingles off like my Miami friends. I'm saying that it actually happens. And then my wife's always like,
you called her your mom. Jamie, you heard it. You heard him call his wife, his mom. I do it too.
Don't tell him that.
What?
Don't tell Jamie that.
No, I think
it's
it makes our clients feel more comfortable.
No one does this besides us.
We love our moms a lot. No, every man who really loves his mom and really loves his wife, they get them mixed up.
I've made this joke to other people, and they're like, "That's bizarre. Why'd you say?" Well, no one. I
so
never
you're
said
saying
that.
everything I'm over explaining to Jamie right now is doing more harm than. Okay.
I'm saying other people can't relate to this. We're calling our wives our moms by
That's
accident.
because they take care of you both.
Yeah. It's something. It's an odd thing. Apparently, it's not universal. Anyway.
Google Gaga.
So my wife always screams, "We'll never make a claim. Our insurance will drop us, and our rates will go sky high. Never make a claim." And then I'm like, "Why do we even have it then?
Right.
Okay.
Why do we have this insurance? Like, if actual shingles blow, like,
Can you explain that to us, Mom?"
So Jamie is my wife right in that? Like, whatever claim you make, even if it's legitimate, you get dropped. Like, she has this fear that if we make any claim,
you're done.
We're done, and we'll never live in this house again.
I mean, insurance is there for a legitimate reason. It is there for a legitimate claim. You're not going to get dropped for having a legitimate claim. It's the fraudulent claims. It's the routine amount of claims. Even on autos, even replacing your windshield, you get the crack in your windshield. If it's not in your eyesight, try to avoid it because you're going to get another rock in your windshield 2 weeks later, and then you're going to have the problem again.
And their steaks are not that good. I got them.
You've got cracks all over the place when you're still driving down I-4, but
my whole windshield looks like a see-through map, and I have steaks for days. They call me Mr. Steaks.
Well, and it used to be they kind of classified claims as, okay, well, the comp claims like that, the windshields don't count. But when you have multiple other things, it does add all up. Yeah. And now they're looking at that for homes, autos, and everything combined.
So, Jamie, I guess the most important question that I think we're all wondering is there anything we could do? Like, because my wife tells me there's nothing we could do, and I'm like, so it's $100 more a month? Nothing we could do? She's like, nothing. I'm like, nothing. There's got to be something.
Yeah. Get your electrical fixed. Get things updated. Yeah.
Oh, he don't want to fix his electrical.
Now, by fixed, what exactly
you gotta
do you
have
mean?
the whole house rewired.
Because I got a guy.
And we have a lady in our chat room who said she would get her husband to rewire your entire house if you just send her some pics.
Or black electrical tape, will work too.
Yeah, we can black electrical tape your entire house so we can't see it.
Because I heard the inspectors only randomly check one plug, so you just got to be lucky.
And then I heard they go in there and then they blindfold and then they point their finger out, they spin in a circle. They're like, stop.
Yeah. They're not inspecting every plug. So
and that's a good, and actually too with the inspectors, that's a good point too. Where it used to be, we had just the home inspectors. Now the insurance companies are sending out their own inspectors to inspect the inspectors. Nobody's getting away with anything.
Wait a minute. I want to be the inspector.
Update your electrical and your plumbing and your roofs. And like I said, don't use it as a home maintenance program. Do your own home maintenance, and then you're not going to have as many problems. But there's definitely some counties and zip codes. I had a call from a BDM yesterday. His zip code was closed. I had maybe 2 options where I would have normally had 12 for him. So as there's higher risk in certain areas, that's why you're getting increased in that particular area. and then it's limiting your options to be rewritten to
Most of our listeners
well.
live in District 9.
Oh yeah,
you'll find
it's right there.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's right above them. They look at it every day, and they're like, "There it is." That's the problem.
And don't be off. I know it's off-putting, but just don't be alarmed if they all have lobster claws. It happens. They're creature people.
So basically, you're saying, Jamie, the more options you have, the more chance you could actually shop out and get the lowest rate. And if you don't have the best wiring or your house up to complete code, then you have way less options and you're probably going to pay more.
Right. And expect the increases over the next 3 years. It's not going anywhere. They haven't, voted to try to close these loopholes yet. Up in Tallahassee. So it's not going to get any better anytime soon. You've got to expect a 30% increase every year for the next few years, which is going to impact home buying, fixed incomes, like you said before. We'll do the best we can to keep you decent, to keep decent coverage. Obviously, we want to do great coverage if we can, but within your budget. So
sure.
Give us a call. I'm the main contact here pretty much. So just give us a call, Jamie Hoover, and we'll take care of you.
There you go.
It's BlanchardInsurance.com. They got offices around Central Florida. Across the state, yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you have any other questions and all of that was too difficult, show at tomanddan.com. I'll get you in touch with Jamie for sure.
All right, Jamie.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate the info. If anything happens again, we'll give you a call to get the professional opinion.
We love having chats with you. We apologize if this one crossed any lines, especially the wife-mom thing.
Well, sorry. It's always like the Grim Reaper with insurance right now. So it's hard to, to be positive about it because it is a negative situation, but we're going to try to help you as much as we can.
If you're alive to pay the bill, you're winning, right? You got to be alive to pay it.
That's also a buddy of mine in Miami's website, Grim Reaper Insurance.
Don't go there, by the way.
It's real bad.
It's really bad.
All the
slogan
pipes.
is we're killing it. It's like not good.
All right, Jamie, we'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Bye.
Yep,
Bye.
see ya. That is our friend Jamie Hoover. Every time I say her name, it makes me think of Rick Ross because there's a rapper that's called like something Hoover, and it's in the song, and it's like, they're going to big meet Jamie Hoover. And I always want to be like, and I always want to rap when I hear it because Hoover is such like almost like a cool presidential businessy style name, historical.
I'm not joking when I say
very nice.
that, and I don't. Did you guys think like this? Because it was a thing where if you ever had a problem or a claim on your insurance,
I always thought that the minute you claimed, you'd be dropped.
Yeah, but no, I'm talking about like you never
for anything.
You never were truthful. You always did the max because that's what. If you didn't do that, then you're being played the fool. Like that was the mentality I grew up with. It's like if you don't ask because they're the big evil insurance companies.
Grew up rich. Maybe
I literally knew nothing about homeowners insurance. My parents never owned a home.
Yeah,
so I knew no information about
well, I'm
that.
like car
so we got
insurance.
that. I think I'm right there
even
with
that
you
was
there.
kind of sketchy. Sometimes my dad didn't have car insurance.
You're right. There's a level where it's like an insurance was never
wasn't even really an option.
It wasn't even an equation. You're right. Yeah, you have to get the insurance.
You got to get the insurance first.
I think.
But then when you get it,
I think I know what you mean though. Like I think that like for us, my dad and mom went into things wanting to, my actual dad and mom, not my wife, went into things paying it, right? They were going to pay it. But if dad had to like fudge a number here or maybe make I think if you didn't come from a wealthy, we have enough money to not care what we spend family, then maybe you didn't do that. I'm not saying that my mom and dad scammed. I'm not saying your family scammed. But would they have turned we are lower middle class eyeball to it? Yes, I believe so.
It's a toxic relationship with insurance, right?
Yes.
Because they're going to try the hardest to not pay you anything, and you got to try the
By
hardest to get
design.
them to pay you something.
It's like a boss. It's like when we would go in to negotiate contracts, even at the radio station, you're not on the same team there.
But I guess when it comes down to it, once you get to a point where you can actually pay the correct amount for your insurance,
then you don't worry about it.
And then also claim the things that actually are truthful, then that usually that's where the process works, and then it's like gray
a rich person.
area.
You ever seen a rich person drive? Okay, there are people that drive leased cars like me that want to save money and don't drive a lot, and then there are guys that lease cars because they want the latest and greatest all the time, and they're rich, and they don't care about it. And when they go to turn it in, they don't care about it. Yeah. How many times have you seen a guy that's leasing a car and they are literally destroying, like you've seen it, rims are destroyed, everything just, but you've seen that, right? Like
I've seen it. I've for sure seen it.
But for me, the only way you get the value out of that is if you,
multiple times.
I know.
Made a lot of money over there at All Pro.
Once a year.
4 times I've been fixing the rims, dents.
Let me tell you, 4 times. 4 times. You're becoming a man, I'm telling you. Every day you become a little more Dangerfield.
I need Tom Dangerfield.
And it's a natural thing. And I've watched so much Rodney Dangerfield, and I appreciate it, that when he says things, it takes me out of the show. Like, I fall over, and I'm like, what just happened?
And when he yells, his eyes do pop out like
4
Dangerfield.
times. Let me tell you. All Pro Dead Repair. It's crazy.
Old angry businessman.
I hate Dangerfield, too.
I know you do. And you're becoming. I'm waiting for your eyeball.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Let's take a little break.
Yeah.
Hoover!
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler's here. It's time to pork. My favorite food is pizza and tacos. My favorite queso flavor is queso with hamburger meat. My favorite salsa is homemade. I like the pico. Sometimes I like a mint chocolate chip ice cream treat. We love Porky! Yeah! Hungry this morning.
Who's Porkin'? Brought to you by Porky's Barbecue right there in downtown Apopka. Swing by there for smoking.
Wait a minute. Did you say swing by for smoking?
No.
Swing by and join the toot circle.
Porky's, Apopka. They do catering, big and small. You can get tiny catering packages.
Why don't people say catering small and big? You know what?
Right.
I'm going to start reversing that. As a smallman, I'm going to start saying they got everything you need from wild to mild. I'm just start reversing that.
I like that.
Also, follow their social media because Steve he'll make like one-off chili. Or
bison chili. Yeah.
But sometimes that's the only way you can find out the special thing that he's just kind of...
that mac and cheese burger.
Because it goes fast.
Yeah, they sell out very, very quickly.
And sometimes he just tests things out and only have it for a few days.
So brisket chili, I know that sometimes he'll throw a Brunswick stew on there.
Bison burger.
God, why can't I say Brunswick stew?
I was hanging out with Grift and Jess yesterday, and she is contemplating... catering her wedding with Porky's Barbecue.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she finally picked a date, so she's looking around for some catering.
Andrea's stepsister did that at her dad's
That's
spot.
the best thing you could do. Like,
and we do have excellent wedding food providing sponsors. We really do. My God.
Because most wedding food
sucks.
It does suck.
I'll be real. And if Andrea's listening, I apologize, baby. We spent the money on it, and it was good. It was good, but it wasn't Porky's good. Yeah, we had like some, what do you call them? Like stuffed shells. We had a
classic Italiano.
Yeah, we had like a lemon chicken. Yeah, but
lemon chicken.
Don't put lemons on my chicken.
I wonder if Steve could make a kicked up, better smoked lemon chicken. You know what I mean? You got to take the stuff that sucks and make it
smoke it.
Yeah.
You know what I don't get enough of? And I know you're a fan. Smoked fish.
Yeah.
My wife found smoked fish dip at the at like Publix. They're making it now. That's when you know you're an old man. I sit on my balcony with a sleeve of crackers and fish dip. I eat that.
Disgusting.
I eat that in my boxers. I go right to bed. 6:30.
You know what's good? Like if you go to like a farmer's market or you get the fish dip that people make homemade.
Yeah, they get their fingers all in and get that Corona in there.
Just the words fish dip sound disgusting to me.
I love
good.
The best fish dip is when you get your nails down in there and get all the dirt from your nails in the fish dip.
Anyway, who's
Porky's in a Apopka?
So a British Royal Navy officer is being...
No fish.
Porky's in a Apopka. No fish here. That's the news. Oh, hold on. I did do it right. Porky's in a Apopka. No fish here. Porky's in a podcast.
My commercial, you talked about fish the whole time.
And we don't serve fish. Damn it. So this story was actually forwarded to me by Tracy Claus in the Twitch chat. So shout out to Tracy. A British Royal Navy officer is being investigated for allegedly shooting pornography films at a nuclear submarine base in the UK.
All right.
The sailor under suspicion is Lieutenant Claire Jenkins. You may have thought it was a man. It is, in fact, a woman. She allegedly performs under the name Callie Tayler, and her co-star has reportedly been Seaman Liam Doddington.
Seaman Doddington.
The Navy does have concerns.
You got some Seaman Doddingtons all over your tie.
That Jenkins and Doddington's alleged exploits could have been used to blackmail the lieutenant, whose resume includes command of sailors on the submarine HMS Artful. I don't believe this. So they're claiming that they think it may be because of blackmail that this is happening, but she has her own website to which she says, quote, "My naughty side can sometimes get me into trouble, but that feeling of excitement we can get from doing this just makes me so hot and bothered." And she has a website where she acts out fantasies of paying customers.
All right.
I have a fantasy of
so it doesn't seem like she's being forced into doing this.
I want you to launch
for
some
blackmail.
nukes.
Seems like this is some side income.
Yeah. Well, I think they probably bring that up because everybody is scared about anybody who has power over anything like nuclear weapons or whatever being somehow blackmailed or like used to like become an enemy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I'm not gonna but I think I'm of sound mind. And I feel like if I shot a porn and you were like, look, I'm going to,
I'll tell your family or you have to shoot this
the
nuke.
And I'd be like, I'd be like, oh, man.
I think I'll get in more trouble for shooting
the nuke. I'll shoot the nuke. You're right. You're right. My wife can never find out.
Something tells me my life will be much worse if I shoot the nuke. They'll literally execute me.
You know what's funny is I think
they'll kill me.
I think most people would shoot the nuke.
By hanging.
I think most people would shoot the nuke. I think if you put 10 people or like you put 100 people in this scenario, I think shockingly you would be amazed the number of people that shot the nuke and killed the country versus telling their family that they just cheated.
Yeah. Well, also, there's so many different protocol involved.
I made up my own scenario, too, by the way. I like how Tom and I took Who's Porking to, you have to kill this country or tell your family you cheated on them.
What I find more interesting is, can you be in the military and have like an OnlyFans on the side? Is that permitted?
Probably not in the British Royal Navy.
Why are they any
I'm
different
sure
than the good old? We have the best military.
Well, I don't know if you could do that in our military.
I don't think you can. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna think that is
like a contractual thing.
I'm gonna guess that's unbecoming. That's not the type of like they have a certain criteria and standard that they want to set.
Me either.
So that makes me think it's a don't ask, don't tell. There's a lot of don't ask, don't tell in the military.
No.
Right.
No, I think you're both wrong. In Playboy and Penthouse, I think there have been women that were like active military.
Were they active though? That was going to be my question.
I think that they were, and maybe then at that point.
And what about Combat Barbie? She has her own
been,
OnlyFans, but she's not active. Yeah,
she got out.
Yeah. I bet you there's.
They like it when you get out, I think.
Yeah, when you get out there, like we don't care.
Want.
Yeah, but I think active there may be some
maybe punished or court-martialed of some sort, or
that's ridiculous.
If it's not illegal,
I'm just trying to make some money.
Now,
well, I mean, I think it's guys and girls. It'd be like even if like
that's what I'm saying. If it's legal, who cares?
Well, I mean, I agree, but it's their standard. It's like, no, we don't want that here.
But
I get that.
There's legal.
They're killing people.
Things. Yeah,
I can't show my teeth
that's a whole different
on the internet.
That's a different argument.
But like, if you work for Clear Channel back in the day, you had to sign a contract that says they own everything, your likeness, all the stuff. Like you sign the contract, and you go in the military, you sign a contract.
Well, like a company can have a drug just because marijuana is legal. Let's say it's federally legal. Who cares? You can still be a company that says no drugs here. So.
Yes, because you opted as a private. And I think the military is the same thing. It's like you lose your right. There's some rights that you inherently lose by signing up for the military. Like there are certain things.
I thought I was fighting for my rights if I signed up for the military.
Well, you're fighting for everybody else's rights.
That's good.
You have military rights, which is far less rights actually.
Interesting.
And I think you can't just leave. There's also like once you sign that contract, you can't just be like, I quit. There's no quitting,
which is unfair.
That
too.
is
like there's a lot of things.
You go to
like, you've opted
jail.
in, you're sacrificing, but the benefits.
cannot quit.
You're a traitor of your country, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Indeed.
If you just leave, that's you're abandoning the military.
Yeah.
You can go to jail for it anyway. So I bet you there's some sort of clause saying you can't do this because it's not morally under the same guidelines as.
Which
the
again,
US
I agree with you,
military.
Sam. If you're out there defending us, you should.
You
be
should
allowed,
have all the rights and do whatever you want.
You should be allowed to pull your boobs out if you want
right?
to. I stand behind that.
Did they film the porno on the
on
sub?
the base?
On the base.
It didn't go into specifics if it was actually on a submarine, but it was on the nuclear submarine base.
Okay, yeah. Well, you would. It would be. You can't even release a video inside a nuclear submarine. You'd be speaking of court-martialed. Like I mean, that's a you couldn't film anything and put it on social media. But so there are. What's the military gonna do?
Well, they're investigating it at this point. So I guess we'll have to see. What comes of that?
I feel like the fact that she's open about it means that
she has a nickname, right, or a
alias.
Performance name.
Yeah. But even then, that's like the fact that she even went that far means that maybe she can do this on her own time in the British military or something. But we'll.
I mean, I do think you should, but
we'll see more.
You probably can't.
More of this, right? With just how easy it is to make money through these peer-to-peer things. Like there will be tons of people that are in the military, are different position levels that are making side money.
It's
doing
going
this.
further now. Like I'm even seeing people like, let's say in the adult arena, that's where it really started first, right? With your OnlyFans and your adult content. You're seeing people now kind of up the ante. And what I mean by that is instead of going with like your Patreons, your OnlyFans, you're seeing people maybe do that in the beginning, save their money, then use that money to design their own thing on the back end.
Oh, yeah. Their own site.
And then own their own. So you're seeing people start their own almost like little permanent portal to their life. That way they can control all of the money.
Yeah, I kind of like this lady because she was confronted by basically her superiors about it, and she confessed to it. And instead of ceasing the activities as requested, she doubled down and posted more X-rated content on her OnlyFans.
Maybe she sees maybe the publicity.
Yeah, she knows where she's going. She's smart.
Maybe they'll get her out of there, and she'll just make a full-time living doing this. Or there was certain clauses I know in contracts that if you start something. I don't know if the military or who knows what their whole thing is, but like in other companies, if you start something after you sign the contract, technically they can claim that they own it or whatever. So you could get real muddy legally.
That's not kind of military porn I'm into, the muddy stuff.
But think about
it says
I'm a color run guy.
While she was open and honest with her bosses and explained this is how she spends her free time, one issue is whether she has completely come clean and whether anything she is holding back could be used to compromise her or her lovers, as well as wondering if anything could compromise the security of the facility. So it doesn't seem like they really care that she's doing it, just that where she's doing
the
it.
Security aspect. The lover thing.
Well, you know why is because back in like the crazy espionage days of like Cold War and stuff, they would try to send women.
Oh, absolutely.
To like seduce people in power and military and stuff as a way to like spies basically. Yeah. And then if this guy would cheat on the spy, then she would start setting him up for blackmail. Like, hey, I'm gonna tell your family unless you give a secret.
Right.
So like that's been a thing for a
play
lot of years. So
let's play a game.
Yeah.
If you were to design a spy for me, and I were to design a spy for you,
okay,
what would our spies look like if we wanted to try and get the other to cheat and ruin their family?
Well, I go tall.
Oh, you know me well.
Tally.
You know me well. I like the tallies.
Yeah. I'd go tally. I'd go very like super athletic, like a Beyonce style body type. Where it's like, oh my god, like
you know, I don't think I can handle it. You didn't go there, but you know what I was thinking of the Williams sisters.
Oh, yeah. Like some
I'm a
muscular,
fan. Oh,
big, giant ass.
Yes, I'm a fan.
What about Megan Thee Stallion?
Yes!
Yeah, like that. Yeah. And then
Iggy Azalea, all those girls. Once they get anywhere near 6 foot tall, I start to black out. I freak out. Yeah, it wouldn't even matter.
What
I'm the
about
easiest
Tom's?
mark ever.
What's Tom's spy? Jessica Biel, right?
I'm going to say 3.5 feet tall.
okay, you're going opposite
small.
265, Jan Terry.
Yeah.
Just Google Jan Terry. That's Tom's. No, if I were going to, you know what I know? I know how to get Tom. Ale House, big mouth waitress. Do you remember her?
I made one comment.
Yeah, but you loved her, dude. You loved her, dude. I could tell by the way. I could tell by the way he was stuttering when he ordered a zinger melt that he was just. He likes girls that have huge, mega mouths. Like he likes women that have ginormous.
No, is it the mouth or the lips?
A little bit of both.
Because like Cameron Diaz has a giant mouth.
He likes
but
that.
She doesn't have a lot of lips.
See, he likes that big mouth.
Okay, big mouth.
He loves a big mouth.
But I'd like rather than thin bird lips. I the bigger lips is always better.
He likes Janice from the Muppets.
No.
That big. If
it's like the
Steven
Mythbuster
Tyler
girl
were a woman, he would be all over. The only thing stopping him. Yeah, he likes Steven Tyler. The only thing that's off-putting are Steven Tyler's witch toes.
Well, his daughter's got a big mouth too.
Does she? I've never seen Steven. Does she have his toes though?
She was in
Liv Tyler?
Armageddon.
Yeah.
Liv Tyler. How old is Liv Tyler now? 65.
She's in Crazy music video. You know.
What was the other one? Alicia Silverstone. She's the one that barfs in her own kids' mouths, right?
She's 43. She's
she's my age.
Yeah.
Does she barf in her kid's mouth? Why does
Alicia
she do that?
Silverstone. Yeah, she's one of those crazy moms.
She chews up the food and then regurgitates it.
My daughter cannot eat this. And I spit it in her mouth. Oh, yuck.
Just do that on your own time.
Just twirl around the pole to the Aerosmith song and wear this little schoolgirl. What? You're a mom now?
Bye.
Hooters.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha and Butler are here, and welcome to Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. Let's do it, buddy.
You want to do it right now?
Yeah.
All right. Weird Job Wednesday on deck. Action. Oh, it's going.
Oh, there it is. That's it.
No,
I see it.
That's the wrong one.
Okay. Wacky inflatable arm tube man.
Every goddamn day. Okay, let's try this now. Let's see if this works now. Yeah! Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Oh yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Weird Job Wednesday brought to you by StreamlineFlorida.com. Talk to Brian Zymel and his team. If you're going to refi, interest rates are crazy low right now, or if you're looking to buy a house and get a mortgage, use Streamline because the process will go smoothly and you don't have to worry about, sometimes you use a gigantic lender and things. And talk to Bart and Crystal.
Bigger is not always better. Trust me, I told my wife this.
Yeah, there's a reason why Bart and Crystal only use Streamline or refer their clients to Streamline because they know it'll get done. So give them a call. So who do we got on line one?
This is Steve.
How you doing, Steve?
Hey, guys.
Is this Steve from Porky's Barbecue?
You got fish.
Yeah.
No, don't.
Is this Steve from Porky's? Do you have fish? Just tap the phone yes or no if you're being held captive.
So, Steve, what do you do?
This is my first job, but I've heard you guys talk about it a couple times. But I worked at a Real Italian, Real Fast with Zoli's.
Yeah!
Yeah, it's the Breadstick factory.
Oh my God! I've been dying to meet you.
He's lying. He's lying.
No, I'm serious. I've always wanted to talk. Were you the guy that got to walk around with the basket and hand out breadsticks to people in the dining hall?
Yeah, they used to do that. Yeah.
Oh my God!
I
They
never
usually
went to
that
Fazoli's.
was kind of the beginning. The basket people were. It was either like a 65-year-old lady half
Yes.
the time,
Yes,
or
it was always a
new
sweet
person,
old lady.
or we had some guy who's 35 lived with his mom. He did that all the
Yeah,
time.
it was.
They never moved up.
It was
the dining
always
room,
okay.
really.
It was always special needs or sweet old lady that would come around the basket of bread, of
Yeah.
fresh hot breadsticks. But I
Yeah,
gotta tell you right now, anywhere you're eating. You give me a person walking around with a basket of bread, that automatically makes your dining experience one notch higher.
For sure.
It's the same thing I say about a Wild West show while you're eating. Automatically makes it a little bit better if somebody's like lassoing or shooting things, shooting plates out of the air.
Oh,
I'm
dear
in.
review.
I'm in.
So how many? Okay, because I know Fazoli's from college, and there was a Fazoli's on University.
Yes, that's the one we all went to.
And
was.
and that was the one that we were familiar with. And I swear to God, once every 7 months, when me and my wife are driving around looking for somewhere to eat, she says, "Whatever happened to Fazoli's?"
Hey, I do that all the time.
And then I don't
And then
even know
talk
how
about
long.
the basket lady
Yeah.
or the special needs. Yeah,
So,
I love it.
How many Fazoli's were there?
I don't know. There was a lot. There was a ton. But, there's still like 200 of them. Or something
Yeah, they're
like
still
that.
out there.
Really?
Man. There's still some in Florida, I believe.
Yeah,
just not.
Claremont has one. I know that.
Yeah, Claremont.
I gotta go out to
Claremont's
Claremont.
got everything.
Yeah, I worked at
God
one
damn
in,
Claremont.
So I thought they went totally out of business. I didn't know that there were still actually Fazoli's.
Still
Well,
a few, yeah.
in Claremont, though, to be no offense, you drive out there, it immediately becomes 1998. So then there's like a Fazoli pops up.
Oh yeah.
If you really want the breadsticks, you'll go, I guess.
Oh, I'll go.
So let's talk about Fazoli's. When did you work there in college?
No, that was my first job, so I was 16. Well, I did go to college because I worked there for about 4 years, so about
Okay.
plus 20, yeah.
So
That's pretty.
standard fast food style, or what is that, like fast? What would you consider
It's,
Fazoli's?
I believe
Because-
I think it's
Yeah,
a fast cash.
last night I had this conversation with my wife, and she's like, I was like, I think it's a step up above Taco Bell and McDonald's. She disagrees. She thinks those two are better, but I don't.
What?
Well, your wife's
No,
a
I don't
lying
think so. I
bitch.
think it's a little bit better than.
Yeah, you got to get a
Yeah, yeah.
divorce because
Oh,
she sounds like an insane person.
Yeah. Of course, it's a step up
Yeah.
from
Is it like a
McDonald's.
CC's pizza?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Well, she's also a vegetarian. She doesn't know what she's talking
okay.
about.
That's
You
one
tell-
of
those.
you tell her to shut up.
Oh my god!
She doesn't know what
Sorry,
she's talking about. So Fazoli's, I'd put under under Olive Garden for sure, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like it's
of course.
like I feel like they're related. I feel like
Definitely about
Fazoli's
the others.
is like Olive Garden's little bro.
No,
Do they
no.
take your order at the table, or do you order
You order
and they bring it to you?
You order
Yes.
and then they bring it to you unless it's easily sloppable.
Fazoli's
Right.
is Boston Market's
Yes.
Italian
It
brother.
is.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because they did have a drive-through, so
Hey.
it's kind of like the Boston Market, like that.
Hey, it's me,
They
Boston
had a
Market.
drive-through. They
You're
had
from
the
New
fries.
Jersey. Yeah. So Boston Market and Fazoli's, I feel like,
They're
are
friends.
pretty close,
They're
right?
friends, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like Sam Adams and Chef Boyardee.
Yeah. And so now with Fazoli's, it's all like could you order like lasagna, or is it all
I'm
like
on, funny, you
Yeah.
should ask. I'm on the menu right
Oh,
now.
I mean, I
man.
could tell you how some of these things were made, and you probably wouldn't want to eat it if I told you that. But
Tell me.
but they had spaghetti, the Alfredo, they had raviolis. The lasagna, the lasagna was just frozen slabs of lasagna, like they come frozen. Then we would separate them onto a pan, and you run that pan through the oven. Then it would sit on the table, the steam table. So it would sit there for a while. It's only supposed to sit there half an hour. Sometimes it might end up 3 hours. I mean, that's where you get into the fast food stuff, especially with young kids working there.
Yeah, they got the classic sampler with this fettuccine Alfredo, lasagna with meat sauce, and spaghetti, and a meatball.
One meatball?
One meatball.
But I mean, some things were like chicken parmesan. Okay, you had the breast came frozen, and they weren't cooked. So somebody would run them through the oven in the morning to get ready, and they would cool down. They'd be fully cooked. They'd slop just a ladle of tomato sauce on top of it and some cheese and put them in the freezer near where the guy's making the food.
Freeze them again.
And when somebody ordered a chicken parmesan, we would just throw it in the microwave. That was the thing. I don't know, heat it up. All that cheese would melt, and then you throw it on a plate with some spaghetti. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm writing this down for tonight's dinner. Could you start?
We're not cooking fresh meat.
How did you start? Run it through the oven? How do you spell oven?
I don't think you're spoiling it for anybody. If you think if you ate a Fazoli's,
No.
you think there's some chef out there with a flame coming. Hopefully, come on.
I slapped the cheese on. Yes, chef.
Yeah, you know what we're getting here.
It was a full like a steam table.
Yeah.
Where you had the sauces that were full and heated, and they had a dropper. It wasn't oil, but kind of like what you drop fries in, but it was just water. And basically, the spaghetti, we would cook the spaghetti there, put them in big tubs, and then you would just reheat it in that water. Before then you throw it on the plate
dirty
for 'em.
socks.
So Steve, I got
right. Like it's been in that water all day. Oh,
here's a question for you that I don't think most people understand as far as like the etiquette when it comes to tipping. And so when you go to a Fazoli's or a Boston Market where there's this weird hybrid of restaurant where you go and you order at the counter, you pay.
You do everything.
When you go and you sit down.
Then you make your own sandwich.
And then they bring the food to you on a plate or whatever it is to your table. And so it's like, I don't know how to tip in that scenario because yes, someone's
You're
bringing.
confusing me.
And
Boston
very
Market
little.
confuses me too because they give me an address.
They actually at
15?
the counter when the person would order, it was supposed to be fast enough that you were handed your food at the counter usually. You see what I'm saying? And really, the dining room person didn't throw your trash away. All they really did was take the trash out and hand out breadsticks. The guy who worked out there.
Okay, well, but there's still some element of customer service.
Yeah.
That's why, like,
They're
do
wiping
Or is it just
tables
a cafeteria where you just take your tray and you go sit down?
It's kind of that. Yeah, it's kind of that. But I'm with Tom.
I didn't see a lot of tips out there. I didn't work out there all the time, but I never heard of maybe some old couple might leave you the guy $2, but
but see what
it wasn't
Tom's
very
saying
common
is
then.
that it's
I
a
don't know about now.
problem.
Yes, because
Maybe
you
it's
don't even
different.
know.
Apparently, I'm the
Steve,
only
20 years ago.
Apparently, I'm the only person
For
that
me.
speaks full Tom
Yeah,
because
thank
I
you,
understand what he
Daniel.
means. Boston Market is the same way. You go there, and then like you've set up this. I go through the line, I go through the counter, I get my food, but then I'm eating off of real plates, not plastic plates,
Right.
and I'm using real. And then you come by and you're like, "Is your cornbread? How is your meat?" And then I'm like,
But
"Wait,
this-
do I
and-
pay you money to do this, or leave me alone?"
And there's not really a designator, like a designated waiter or waitress. It's like the person
No.
brings you the food is whoever's like sometimes it's a
just a
rotisserie
guy.
guy or whoever's there.
Take your gloves off before you bring me my food. I'm not an animal.
And they go bring. So I'm like, do I leave money at the table? Do I tip? Like what? What's the tipping
I
scenario?
ask 'em.
Is it $2? Is it like 10%? It can't be a full 15%, right? Or like and definitely not a.
I ask him.
20,
I go, "How much
25.
do you want?"
Well, they want it all, Daniel. They want it all.
Yeah.
But so what? Steve, what? You leave a couple dollars?
I mean, nowadays, I think if I ate somewhere like that, I might. But then I thought I don't do that at Boston Market, so I see what you're saying. But,
Steve.
when I worked back then, barely anybody left a tip for somebody.
yeah.
So, but
Well,
I
that
think
was
it's a
the
little different now,
90s.
right?
Yeah, and it's college. Like when I was in college, I leave
Hey, dude,
nothing.
I dine and dash half the time. I mean, like, my God.
So let's talk about like the
Any famous people ever roll through your Fazoli's?
One time, this was it was Shaq's little brother.
Yes, little Shaq's little brother.
Yeah,
which
let's
is
just say somebody did come to his
came
feet because
through.
he was a jerk. But it wasn't me. All right.
Shaq's little brother came through. He was a jerk.
Yeah, he
Wow.
came through with
Did you
his
hear that?
high school entourage, and he was just really rude. And it was the end of the day. They came in, 5 minutes before close. One
Give
of
me
those
those
scenarios.
breadsticks.
So everybody's angry. And this one
I'm
guy,
Shaq's little brother.
basically just spit a little bit in his pizza, maybe.
So
Oh my god.
Oh, my God. He didn't deserve that.
he's
He's
spinning.
Oh my god.
Shaq's little
brother's
brother,
pizza.
for Christ's sake. Sir,
He's a hero. He's an American hero.
Why
Yeah,
would
yeah,
you do that? One of our
He still
greatest
talks about it to this day.
one of our greatest sports stars, little brothers of all time.
Well, it wasn't Shaq. So it's fine.
So, Steve, some of my favorite things in life are corporate structure with crappy, like cheapo corporations. Or like,
I like how they try to motivate them.
But now,
like, did you ever get the award? Were you ever the big Fazoli of the day?
What I'm saying is that they all have this thing, even like big, giant, when I worked for different corporations, Foot Locker, Home Depot, they all had this like corporate, almost this BS way to get you involved and care about the company. And maybe it's just me and I hate that all that garbage.
I try to do it around here and you
because
hate it.
I'm just like just tell me what to do. I'll show up on time. Like I'm gonna show up on time and I'll do my job, so I won't get fired and I'll leave. And that's it. That's all you expect. Like, I don't want to go to your stupid motivational meetings in the morning.
Webinar.
I don't want to bleed orange. They used to make you do a chant in the morning.
Trust fall.
Yeah, it's like they want you to somehow.
Line.
It's a weird brainwashy thing where it's like they want you to care about this corporation that obviously does not care about you, and they want you to look at it like it's like some sort of father figure. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. It's like you're like, why? I don't.
Hold on, I'm ordering online.
It's like if you work for Home Depot, dude. Like you really like you care about the company and you care about its bottom line and you care about the ownership and the who does
Do you know what
there
Fazoli
are people out there.
It's
Do you know
weird.
what Fazoli's calls their wings? Wingville.
So
did you know that?
I did not know
Welcome
that.
to Wingville. Population, 2 different styles.
And they do this with everybody, and they try to get, because every once in a while someone will actually care, and then they'll work their way up like the McDonald's chain.
Yeah.
Then they'll be like
You got the Ray Kroc Award of the oh my
District
God.
manager.
They'll be
Yeah.
district manager, and it's fine. And those people sometimes they'll get paid. Like I know. Like some of the district manager of Foot Locker was making 6 figures easy.
Yeah.
And he would just go around to the different, like he was in charge of 5 stores or like they get paid.
Hey,
but
Steve, question.
They bought into it.
I'm looking at your menu. I'm looking at your gluten-friendly chicken pesto rotini. What is
they didn't have that 20, 25 years ago.
What is gluten-friendly pasta?
They have that now?
Yeah, gluten-friendly. Is that gluten-free?
It's just some BS. They just get some pasta that has no gluten in it, and they're just selling. It does the same garbage as the other.
Your wording,
it's all the same
your
garbage.
wording's confusing. Is it free or friendly?
Yeah, they didn't have anything like that, so.
So, Steve, was there any like BS corporate culture like they want to like get you to buy into like the Fazoli's dream or the Fazoli story?
Part of the big sausage.
Yeah, like Mr. Fazoli's.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's it was the typical district manager would come by. Everybody starts to shape up and tuck their shirts in and make it look perfect, but otherwise, it wasn't.
Put your chef
It's like
hat
every
on.
place does that. And we would have the meeting. We'd have like a morning meeting, I don't know, like every 2 months, and everybody had to go on a Saturday, even if you didn't work.
Yeah, why
that day,
they
you
do
still had to
those.
show up.
Even the
I hate
old
that.
lady that gives that bread, she's 65 years old.
You're paying me.
She's been up since 4:30 feeding her birds. I'm
Yeah,
serious.
they had all that stuff. They'd force you to suggestive sell. I think everybody does that, though,
Suggestive sell.
But it
These
really depended on who your
breadsticks
manager
look
was,
like
too. Some were cooler than others.
Yeah. I just wondered if there was a backstory of Mr. Fazoli started one
Yeah,
restaurant
his
back in
name.
New York.
I remember the name. It was I don't know if he was from
you
Japan
remember it,
or-
huh?
He was. It was Kuni Toyota was his name.
Wait, the guy who started
Poon
Fazoli's
Toyota.
is called
Wait a minute.
Poony
Kuni
Toyota.
Toyota. Yeah.
His name?
Okay, you're lying. You're drunk.
Hold on. The owner, the original.
The
I don't know if he's the original.
creator of Fazoli's is Poony Toyota. That's bull.
No, I think they partnered up with this firm in Japan, but yes, he became like the head. And so we always heard about, Kuni Toyota. I think one time he
Cooney.
came by our
Cooney
store
Toyota.
too. I was off that day, but
Isn't that AJ's boss
he was
at
the head
Oh,
guy,
that's
I guess you'd
Toshiba.
say, over all of them. But he didn't even live in the U.S., so I guess he just came over to visit. But
It was all just that they figured out there was a market for cheap Italian food, and they filled that market. There's no like Mr. Fazoli started his original Italian restaurant in Brooklyn, and then started spreading the Fazoli. Okay, so it's just Poon
I think Kuni
Toyota.
provided the funds to get it rolling. Like that. He probably had the money.
Yeah.
Because he was a businessman.
It's just a venture capital deal where they saw they're like, there's no really market for one step lower than Olive Garden, but one step higher than Taco Bell for Italian. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. Yeah.
Right.
So what does that job pay? 16 to 24 years at Fazoli's? Like, where'd you get to?
I mean, when I started there, it was 95, so I think minimum wage was like $4.25. I think back then.
Yeah. It was. Crystal, my wife, tells me what she like. She worked for Foot Locker Corporation for some absurd amount of time, 10 years or something. And when she started, the minimum wage was like five something, or like she was around the mid 90s or whatever. And it's like, oh my god, like so her bring home pay. Like, even after a full-time work week was some insane, like less than $500.
Yeah.
It is Cooney Toyota.
For a 2-week paycheck.
Orlando's pretty instrumental to Cooney and his wife Carol's Toyota's business. I mean, they rolled out and made the whole phrase "unlimited breadsticks" is basically this dude, Cooney Toyota, his wife, their Fazoli's restaurants, and they expanded that in Orlando.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Interesting.
We are the home of unlimited breadsticks.
Yes.
See?
Yeah, the
cultural center of the globe.
I'm sorry. Maybe it's just because I was around them all the time. And when you leave there, you smell like garlic butter. Even when you wash your clothes,
so good.
It's like a garlic butter pit all over you.
Because they realize, they're like, all right, what does this cost to make an extra 300 breadsticks? It's like $2. It's like each breadstick probably is like 2 cents of ingredients.
He's the breadstick man. In fact, he was the guy that added breadstick service to dine-in guests, along with unlimited breadsticks, and short order sales and traffic increased significantly. In fact, by late 1993, Cooney had averaged sales exceeding more than $1 million per store.
This Japanese businessman, they're like, fat Americans love bread.
Stuff them full of bread.
Yeah, they love bread.
Pick them up. They'll stick to the veggies and rice.
But that bread would come frozen, and it was just like you would take a Home Depot Homer poop bucket, size bucket like that, okay? And they would dump, it was about 3 gallons, I guess, of just butter, just pure butter in these containers. We'd dump it in there, and then you put 8 pounds of salt and 8 pounds of garlic powder, and that was it. You stirred it up and just poured it on the breadsticks. So
Give me my poop.
That was all it took, and then threw them in the oven.
Cooney says, hey, Americans don't eat these big turd breadsticks.
And guys, they had I love that they had, this happened all the time, too. We had when you made tomato sauce, you went through so much, it was in a trash can you put your lawn waste in, like that big. I don't know how many gallons that is, right? That has the wheels
gallons?
on the bottom. Yeah, and then these young kids, I did it once too, but when you're pushing this huge trash can of tomato sauce back into the walk-in, there was this lip, and you know how many times it went over that bump and just tipped over, and that's like 30 gallons of tomato sauce just went all over the floor.
Like The Shining.
And then we were out there squeeging it into the drains.
You know what? Maybe I'll skip that trip.
That happened all the time too.
So, what'd you get paid? Did you tell us already? I forgot.
Yeah, it was $4.25 starting. I don't remember what I ended up. I ended at like $7, I guess, at that time.
Any hanky panky? How many fingers in the
that was it. I didn't make
cooler?
much. I worked 40 hours, and I didn't bring. I don't remember the take home.
Did you meet your wife or girlfriend there?
What's that?
Did you meet your wife or girlfriend there? Do you still talk to any former Fazolers?
Well, one of my best friends is he's the guy who spit and Shaq's Brothers Pizza. Yeah, I do. He's like the one guy. He's been my best friend since middle school. But yeah, I talk to him still.
Quality chap.
Is there
nobody else really?
Is there any worse job than fast food as far as it goes for
retail? It's neck and neck.
Yeah, but retail, sometimes they'll offer a commission. So I know, like, even you work.
How about old folks home?
Like, yeah, but sometimes they'll pay
entry level old folks home.
Oh yeah. There's but still, I think
that's
even
a lot of poo poo.
If you are dealing with poo poo, they pay you poo poo rates.
Poo poo rates.
Yeah. Like I think
what's a going poo poo rate, Sam? Look that up.
That's something I think. Some
Steve,
extra.
Do you know the going poo rate?
Yeah, but it's like the fast food is
slightly above minimum wage, right?
It's like because I feel like if you're going to get a minimum wage job, fast food is the worst just because of the job characteristic of
that
it.
That breadstick lady though had it made.
Yeah, but would they give the breadstick? Would they give like that job to kind of like the Walmart greeter? Yeah. Was there anything like that?
It was the starting job. Yeah,
And
when you got hired there.
I've always
the dining
wondered,
room.
what does that old lady do while she's standing around with a bunch
You
of teens?
guys want to hear about the rats?
The teens are...
No, come on.
No, but these teens
don't
are
know
just
how
talking
long-
about
No, serious.
drugs and sex.
This is yeah. I mean, the restaurant was clean. I mean, it's pretty clean. It was a normal kitchen restaurant. You know, it was cleaned up at the end of the night. But they did, before I left, they started to have a kind of a rat problem. And I still don't, when I think about it, they never called pest control. They would just put
you're going to get a rat problem. You got unlimited
out at night. 'Cause we never
Right.
saw them, you know, until nighttime. I guess they were in the walls or whatever. And, yeah, like I'd come in the morning. And one morning I had to sweep the glue stick rat into the trash bag to throw him out in the dumpster. And it was just like nothing.
Come on. This is
Yeah.
coming from Steve,
Yeah,
by the
and
way. We have
then
no
they got-
idea if this is true or not.
Yeah.
This is
Alleged.
Steve.
Yeah, and this
Alleged-
is Steve from Frizoli's.
No, it was at the Longwood Fazoli's. And
Oh, it's
the
not
funny-
there
anymore.
It's gone. It's fine.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's not there anymore.
Okay.
But the funniest thing
But
is
if it was, old
we used
buddy.
to play Italian music. They used to play the music in the dining room, right? The Italian music.
Mm-hmm.
And the manager had to turn it up because you could start to hear them in the ceiling tiles.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
Turn the music up. I can hear them eating stale
It's a true
breadstick.
story. Not even joking about that.
My God. Turn up Frank Sinatra. I can hear the goddamn rats.
Again.
Unforgettable.
This has got to be a miserable job, right?
Right.
It had to be you. It had to be. Turn it off, God damn it! I can hear them chewing their legs off. Turn up Tony Bennett, my God.
They're scratching crazy out
Oh,
there.
what are they doing? Somebody point the subwoofer at the dining room. You, get out there, start shoveling breadsticks and make some noise with your tongs, your breadstick tongs. Tong those sticks as loud as you can. We got a problem upstairs.
They're scratching. All right. Steve, thanks for being our contestant for Weird Job Wednesday.
You win.
We'll talk to you
No
again.
problem. Thank you.
All right. Hey, thanks for
Okay.
listening, man. We'll
All
talk
right,
to you
guys.
soon. Take care. Oh, my God.
It's I never had to do. I guess I worked at like a mom and pop sub shop, but I never had to do the corporate fast food like a lot of people.
You
do.
did.
You know.
You Subway.
I did Subway. I did Jason's Deli.
And then Butler was a
Jason
cheese.
Deli more
Was
of a
Butler a
restaurant, isn't it?
cheesecake
No, man.
factory, man?
It's not.
Spaghetti Warehouse.
What is it? No, is that another Fazoli?
I feel like Spaghetti Warehouse should be your name, Butler.
How was I know we talked to you a little bit about Subway. But
That was my first job.
and that was back when they weren't so stingy with the vegetables, right?
No,
Like-
they were.
Oh,
Oh,
they
yeah.
were,
You had to count them out.
So how
Loud?
many pickles were you allowed to give? Do you
You
remember?
want a 6 inch or a 12 inch?
How many pickles did you eat at Subway? I've done this before.
6 inch or foot long? Foot
How
long.
many foot long?
Foot long gets 6 pickles.
Oh,
3 on each side.
Oh wow!
Oh my God! Like this.
so don't do that. How
1, 2, 3.
like what if you gave more pickles than 3? Was there some sort of
If
demerit
the
system?
manager was next to you, you would get the old elbow.
Finger in the.
And if they asked for more,
Then you have to give it to him.
but how much more? Is it like 2 per request?
Oh, that's
or,
right.
Yeah, 2 per request.
Is
How
that
many,
right? Okay.
how many requests are you allowed? Or can you ask me to leave if I've asked 9 times?
No, we have to comply with it, whatever
Oh,
you ask
so
for.
I could stay there
basically.
forever.
Yeah.
More than that.
Yeah, you could.
And as far as like when it, you know those little trays of steak,
Okay,
Yes.
I don't.
How much
You know
steak
what?
is that?
I don't like
You
that.
have to
'cause
measure it out on a weighing scale.
every time I see the little tray of steak,
Yeah.
you know what ruined it for me? It looks like a hat.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, that steak's in a hat. It ruins it for me.
that's a beaver's
hat.
hat.
Exactly. That looks like a small cartoon beaver's hat. I
Film
can't
steak.
eat out of a beaver's hat. I'm out of here. I knew this was a bad idea.
Bye-bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Tom with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan, Samantha, and Butler are here.
So I forgot.
We're going to do voicemails.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and this one, the first one, yeah. It's okay. Don't freak out.
It's okay.
Look, we got a
We're
lot
easing
going on.
back
Do you
in.
know what's happening? We're doing something now. I can't really go into it, but we're planning something now. And when we go into these type of planning modes, all of our brains start to mush a little
yeah.
bit. And that's fine. We just got to understand that we know what we're up
gotta
against.
help each other out.
And we also haven't planned anything in a year. So
Oh.
you got to cut yourself some slack, homie. This
No
one-
slack.
You know why you get slack? This is why you get slack, right?
Hey there, Sam and TND. I was just listening to the Friday Free Show and Samantha's epic TikTok video, which was absolutely amazing and brilliant and sort of uncomfortable to watch, but perfect. I commend you for a job well done.
Breathing heavy.
What made me laugh is Tom.
I mean, I honestly believe that mission accomplished, Sam. I mean, you can tell by the way this guy's breathing that the video
Took a lot out of him.
Well, I mean, it's like a movie. When you walk out of it, did it make you think? Your video made you think?
Uncomfortability. Your video should have been like an entire segment, but instead he pivoted immediately to Seth Petrozelli. And
You did.
He got uncomfortable.
Tom
yeah.
got uncomfortable, and he pivoted to a different. Like you made a pivot to a different topic.
How entire segment of what? Like describe
Analyzing
breaking,
the video, yeah.
breaking down the video? Like I didn't want
The behind the scenes.
Yeah, like what am I
By
supposed
the way,
to
people are harassing me for the unedited version to be posted on the website, like we teased on the Friday Free
Yeah,
Show.
and we did, and we said we're going to wait until Monday because I have it ready to go.
Yeah. But
We
then
just-
Daniel did bring up a good point. It was like
Because I'm sober these days at the end of the show.
He's-
Normally I'm
he's like-
blasted at the end of the Friday Free Show.
Yeah.
He'll ask
Dude,
me
put
anything.
the-
I'm like, do it.
Let's do it.
because the
Now I'm
unedited
sober. I'm like, I don't know, buddy. Let's talk this out.
like what's there. It's the big
Fake weenie.
Yeah, big fake D that we have. We used to like above our sink, and that's what.
That's why we
that's what-
couldn't get it on TikTok.
Yeah,
Too explicit.
Yeah, it's fake, but I guess it
Looks
triggered
real,
their
yeah.
thing. Anyway, so the problem is when we put that up there, it's no mystery. So do you want to
Yeah.
just see the big fake D?
I'm not sure.
Just imagine it.
Yeah, I think if you imagine it, you're getting the D without the negativity that could come from the real D.
Oh yeah.
Reality.
Yeah, and
Sometimes you don't want reality.
And I just assumed that people would be more interested in the
By the way,
beginning part.
I had to use a dots matrix, almost like keep me censored pattern. I couldn't use a blur.
Right.
Because I did a blur first. The reason it took so long in here on Friday, I did a blur first, uploaded it to TikTok. TikTok kicked it back to me again.
Yeah.
That's when you said, hey, everybody said they saw it for like a split second, then it was down. Yeah, you did see it for a split second. But then they decided the blur was too much. So then I had
People
to
were
dial
melting down the BDM page on Friday.
But then I had to dial it down again because it was too aggressive. So finally I got it to a point where they would take it. But I had to export that video 3 times.
What's weird too is we didn't know the rules for TikTok as far as
I thought anything went.
because
I
I've
thought so,
seen videos that have the TikTok brand on there as
Right.
if they were being presented and the nudity on them. So someone must be
but people do that now. That's like
Well,
a
you can
thing.
make it and not post it on their site.
You can make it
So
private
you can
too.
save the video. You can just send it to somebody.
Yeah, that's an odd.
Yeah,
that's
I
odd,
could do
right?
a private
Yeah.
TikTok for you where it's really just me booty dancing nude and just send it to you.
Right. And then they don't have to edit it unless you try to post it or something.
Okay, so that would just be because the ease of the platform makes it where. What's the difference between doing that and just sending, filming yourself
That's like
on your
if you're
phone?
on Facebook, right? You can send a nude picture through Facebook Messenger, but you can't post a nude picture on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's the same
Hold
thing.
on, you can? I'm going to send a nude picture to Butler right now.
But what I'm asking is why use the TikTok platform
of-
and not just your own phone?
Because there's different filters and stuff in order to
Yeah,
filters,
it does
like a
give you more
Snapchat.
creativity.
Gotcha, yeah.
Also, you can do it from a desktop.
And you could probably edit on
Yes,
the TikTok.
you can.
Gives
Okay,
you the
that's
features
all
to
right.
do that,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Well, that
Hey,
explains
we're
it.
not that old.
I
Look
just
at
needed
that.
an explanation. So, all right, that makes sense.
So we need to decide in true old people fashion what our next TikTok video will be for this week.
Yeah, it's got to top that one.
Because I do
Well,
like the
yeah.
idea of just going, what are we doing this week? Just film the table. Put it up there. Write some writing on
Well,
it.
that's why I yelled at Polar.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
to film anything. Just put out whatever garbage.
Now you're going to make just me and Butler do videos for you guys?
Yeah, that's what every other
No.
radio show host does. They get their interns and their other people that work for them to do stuff, run around, film me holding up all my trophies.
But to answer this guy's question, he's like, you could have done a whole segment. What could we
I
have
think he
talked
wanted
about?
us to focus more on how uncomfortable you were with the whole thing.
Right.
Okay.
And they want, but we do that every show, so
Right.
we're fine.
I'm
we're
not.
fine.
Well, okay.
I don't think you thought I was going to be in a robe.
No.
Okay,
And I think that made you
the
uncomfortable.
ding dong
Yeah.
part, the Drunky the Bear part. Okay,
We had
if
so-
this ruins
so-
anybody's
Magic.
idea of the show. I'm sorry, but it doesn't bother Tom. It doesn't bother me. We act like it bothers us. It does not. Any of our past does not bother us. We do not care. We really don't care about anything. We just want to make the what you care with your sons.
No. I will say that the Drunky the Bear thing. It
doesn't bother me one lick.
It does.
And I say, bring it up as much as you can. I'm all for it.
There is.
Bring it back.
I did have someone ask me this weekend about Drunky.
Yeah.
How's old Drunky doing? Is he still gambling?
Yeah.
And I go, more than ever.
Well, then Lone Wolf emailed Tom's wife over the weekend and asked if she was still married to Dummy.
I like it when he insults me.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
then she
I'm like,
actually
how?
said, I am. How have you been? They started having a full-blown conversation.
I do think
You might get the waterfall lifestyle after all, buddy.
it's a bad reverse
It's a-
waterfall.
yeah, it's a reverse-
It's the
reverse
drain.
water.
It's the drain.
Hey, what did I always
It's a
tell
double
you?
drain.
What did I always tell you? Don't go chasing them.
So
You'll get AIDS.
there is an aspect
that's,
of
that's the whole point of that song. Don't go chasing waterfalls. You'll get AIDS.
Yeah.
for sure the fact that I used to do this stuff and it's as well known and the bear suit thing or whatever, that's got to at least be in the back of some of these business owners' minds and people that I talk to that, about business or whatever.
I think it's more helpful than hurtful. Are
because
am I supposed to be
reverse it.
serious now, or am I supposed to be not serious now?
No,
What
no,
do you
serious,
want?
no, serious,
Ask,
serious.
tell me what you want from me. It's like my wife. She's like, do
Serious.
you need me just to listen, or do you want solutions?
Serious.
That's what Andrea
Yeah.
says. Yeah.
So seriously talking, because I thought
Seriously
about
talking,
this.
I think it's more
think it's
beneficial because you are a brand that's been. I'll throw it to you next. You're a brand that's been in this area for a long time, and there's some longevity there. And anybody that talks to you knows you're not an idiot. That's what I would say.
I think it depends on the sponsor.
She's probably right.
That's but I could imagine if roles
Because some
are
of them have
reversed.
never even heard of Drunky the
Oh
Bear.
yeah, well, no,
Which is
never
good.
bring
Which
it
is
in,
for
yeah.
the best.
Oh, it's been a long time.
Well,
It
even
was
the phrasing, I don't
7
even think you
years
would have
or
used
six.
that now. You
Yeah,
know, you wouldn't have a bear named Drunky now.
It wouldn't.
I don't think it would. I think if it had to start now,
Right.
if it were like a new idea.
And most people don't care. Most be like, oh yeah, whatever. You did this as a intern or whatever. Who cares?
I remember the
But then you say,
Budweiser
you're like,
meeting.
How 10 years?
Tom Van.
Not an intern.
I remember the
That's a-
Budweiser meeting for Tom Van American.
That's half a
Yeah.
military career. Because it's not just a summer internship. Anyway,
Tactical Hat says you have outlasted Fazoli's. That was really funny, by the way. That's really mean.
because
Tactical.
someone's back. You know what? We're going to be talking to someone later today, and I bet they deal with this where they have
EJ.
no.
I don't even know. Honestly, I don't know what to ask our guests that we're going to be talking to later because
Is that the show or
I
no?
am super interested. It's the show. I'm super interested, but I'm also like I don't want to ask the same things that everybody asks.
Right.
I want to know the reality of, we're talking to somebody who was in these, she's a sex worker, works in the adult industry.
Well, I think a sex worker is that the
No, they call
porn
themselves
star?
All
that.
of it, yeah.
No, they
anything
call-
that involves
they call themselves that now.
Okay.
And that's a cool
sex
thing.
or nudity.
Yeah, it's like
I
I'm a
thought
sex
that
worker.
part
No
of
big deal.
sex work.
I thought that lended itself more to a prostitution.
No, they're owning
No.
it.
Okay.
Because it's not
Exotic
something
dancer,
to be
anyone on
ashamed of.
OnlyFans, any of that.
Gotcha.
Any sex work, you're a sex worker.
Okay.
And it's okay to say that apparently.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I'm sure her background and what she's doing now, maybe it's only in her mind and no one else cares or thinks about it. I'm just thinking that there's certain stereotypes like
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, and then that it's hard to get past that.
Yes.
So like I'm trying to think if like I equate it to if you were a former juggalo, but like one of the most famous juggalos.
Juggy jug.
Like, yeah, if you were like had some sort of
Yeah.
social media and you were like Juggy Jug
Yeah.
and you dressed like a full clown. And
I was
then,
Juggy Jug Zigzag 69.
And then you followed
one of the biggest juggalos of all time.
if you followed ICP, I'm sure there's people like Grateful Dead. They
Yeah.
just-
Charlie Sheen, apparently, is a notable juggalo.
Permanent clown makeup. You had it tattooed on you.
Well, not even that far. I'm just saying there was a period in your life that you were a famous juggalo and you followed people around.
According to Wikipedia, Elon Musk is a juggalo.
Well, now they're just a clown and everyone.
Troll of those.
And but then there's nothing wrong with this. Like, okay, you like this music, you wanted to be a part of this group, whatever. And then you graduated out of it, and you went on, and then now you're something else. You're a regular businessman. But then I find out at one time you were a former juggalo. and you did this.
Yeah, no,
I'm
I
just saying that there may be
Yeah.
in the back of my mind, well, maybe you're not as professional as I think.
I would-
you know,
yeah, you're
and
right.
Based
You're right.
on nothing, just straight stereotype, straight like societal, I guess bias. I think that happens to me on a little bit. It has to, right?
Yeah, well, it's happened with. I'm trying to think of other. Yeah, okay.
So what are you saying? This video is going to come back to haunt me?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Depends on where you go.
Yeah. The places
Won't
you'll
go
go.
far now.
The places you'll go, Dr. Seuss.
Yeah. Like there's a barrier of how far I can
I see
go.
what you did there.
Yeah.
Because I've created it for myself. Like if someone, no one's giving me the nuclear codes or anything. You understand what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
no one's putting me in charge of it. Too important. How could they?
I think
mistake.
that, okay, there have been people in radio that you and I've been around before that were considered like redneck characters, and then people think, like, I've had people ask me, they're like, oh, you're like a redneck, and I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to allude something to, I'm trying to find another, and I think you're right. Yeah, I think there is some of that goes along with it, but I still think that based on what you did and how you carried yourself, that that moniker is more of a positive. I stand behind that. I
Yeah.
still think it's more of a positive than a negative.
Anyway,
Wanna
let's
do another one?
Let's do another one.
All right, let's try this one right here.
It doesn't matter.
Dan, Sam, Trav, BDMs, everyone, the AMT crew. Sam, number one, glad your Travis is doing better. That's great to hear.
Thanks.
Number two, Dan, been listening to Wait, Don't Tell Me for a long time. I think you would be a better version of that announcer, Mr. I think it's Russell? I don't know, man. I don't know his name. Like, deep announcer voice Dan doing dirty-ass jokes, introducing Tom, making him laugh. Be great. Happy birthday, Tom, by the way.
There you go. We got a lot of birthday wishes.
Okay.
This was the best out of them, so they were all pretty bad.
So, here's why I don't like Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Oh, I like Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Is for a while, the only talk radio format stuff I could listen to was on the radio before podcasts, right? And before I had the ability to listen to whatever I wanted. And so on Sundays, I would go to, because the only talk radio that was on, it was like NPR or whatever, and I guess there was probably some sports, I just didn't know of it or whatever, but I knew NPR had talk radio, and I'd go on there, and I'd always be mad if it was Wait, Don't Tell Me, because I was like, no, I don't want this.
It's just easy.
I just want
It's
an
easy to
interesting
listen
interview.
to.
No, but it's not.
Yeah.
But I don't want to hear a game show. I don't want to
It's
hear
not
the
really
corny,
a game show. It's just like
the stupid jokes.
it's just a calm.
But it's not giving me any information.
No.
It's I want some sort of interview or
It's an easy
interesting.
dessert game show with a bit of trivia,
Yeah.
some pop culture mixed in.
And they do it live?
I think when they tape them, they do it live. Yeah, I don't know if they do them live. I don't know that much about what NPR.
Or they do it in front of a live studio.
Yeah, I
audience
think
or
they
whatever,
do
yeah.
it and they tape it. And it's
Yeah.
been going on for forever.
It's,
I'm always amazed at those type of shows that they're out of college. They're here at Rollins College in Orlando, Florida, in front of 45,000 people. How long have they been doing it? 75 years they've been doing. Wait, don't tell me.
I've never
Who's
heard
the
one.
host? Bill Thompson. How long's he been the host? 37 years he's been, it's all these things that have been
Yeah.
super popular and I've never heard of them.
Here's why that's possible, because it's a donation-based public broadcast.
It just
you know what I'm
does
saying?
its thing.
So
It
they
just lives.
It would be canceled years ago if it was based on
But I think
any
that's
sort of
why I like
stats.
it. It's just doing its thing.
Yeah.
For me, I think that is the number one. It wouldn't matter what it is, just the fact that it exists on its own without having some sort of stupid corporation prop it up makes me like it.
What's that old man show that you still watch? My wife's grandparents watch it every Saturday. It's like some variety show.
Lawrence Welk?
Lawrence Welk. I love Lawrence
It's
Welk.
like Lawrence Welk.
It's my favorite.
It's an old man-esque. It's
great. It's a
so
better
old.
time. Yeah, Lawrence Welk is phenomenal, man. You get a little bit of everything. What do you want? You want something little new? Today we're doing a tribute to country legends. Oh my God, tribute to country legends. What are they gonna do? Kiss them and you good morning and let them know you dinner when you get back home. Charlie Pride. They got Charlie Pride. Oh, they got the tap dancing guy. Joanne Castle on the keyboard. I can't believe you don't like any of that stuff. Oh, but this guy, he'd rather watch a documentary. Britney Spears, sad. Documentary, the internet is killing you. I'm like, nah, I'll just do a little Lawrence Welk. Tap dance. Keep it light. Keep it light. Smoke some weed. Keep it light. You were there like, the internet and Britney Spears. Everything is sad. War. Politics. Nah.
I don't care about politics.
Give me
something
just
interesting.
give me the tap dance. I want a full tap dance.
Old man. Yeah. Bye-bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha Butler here, and we're joined on the line by someone else. It's basically this guy.
Jack! Nerds! Jack! Nerds! Jack! Nerds!
Jock, nerd, jock, nerd.
Jack!
It's Nerd Jock with EJ. Now, I can't see EJ yet.
Yeah, he'll
I
be
have
there
to
in a second.
see,
You have to let...
where he's at now because
Okay, here. Do
we
you
had
want
to
me
stop doing it at his work
Yeah.
because he's going to
He's
get
still
fired.
at work. He's just on his lunch break now.
Oh, is
Yeah,
it still
Okay, here.
there?
And
I put a sign on the door saying I'm at lunch.
Oh, okay.
So if someone knocks, I'm just gonna ignore it.
oh, hold on. But the web connection, I believe, at work is better. So you're gonna have to go back to work.
Then
We'll
that
wait.
Okay.
So, did anybody question like the prior segments?
He's been doing it for years.
Yeah. Was there
I
any
know. It just-
discussion?
I've been at the casino too long, and it's time to get out when I'm winning. So I think that's the whole thing.
I mean,
Are you winning?
That yeah, I was
Not
gonna,
really, no.
Thank you. I was gonna say that analogy only works.
Yeah.
I still haven't
in-
got a fence. I haven't sold my jet skis.
Yeah.
The advertising on Facebook works better than advertising. For
I don't mean
my
to-
wife's
It seems
bike
like you're
on.
in the
I don't
hole.
know.
Right? Like if I
Yeah.
like.
Obviously, you are a hole.
I'm pretty good at gambling, and this I
Yeah.
would call this you are in the red, which is bad.
Big
The
fat
whole-
rat. Yeah.
What do you want me to say to this?
Well,
a lot of wasted
Yeah.
time for no benefit. At
I didn't
all.
want to scare you or concern you, but for every second
Yeah.
at this point that those jet skis don't sell, thousands of dollars you're losing. They're virtually
Depreciation
worthless
value.
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah, people do this a lot when they're selling something where their price is they're like, I'll take no less
Yeah.
than this amount because these things.
Firm.
Only $100 less than I paid for.
And then like years go by and they're still stuck. They're like same amount. Like,
So it's a brand new jet ski. The technology is different. This runs on gas. All jet skis are electric now.
Yeah, 2 years have depreciated this thing.
Yeah.
Like that is an amount.
Oh
like,
my God! They don't even. It's
So the-
color scheme's completely different.
The fact that you're asking for the same amount is foolish. Like, so
How much
of-
do you want for the jet skis?
Yeah, I'll give you.
T&D price.
I don't even know. I'll take offers is what I'll do at this point.
What do you think they're worth? And
All
I'll
right.
tell you whether or not we have the money to
Well,
pay.
I know he's desperate because.
Let's just trade straight up. We buy a fence. You give us the jet skis.
I mean, any fence? There's a lot.
I would do that.
Why are you sharing too
You
much?
know the rules about the fence.
You are king overshare.
Fence for skis.
Yeah!
Oh my God.
Any fence.
And we'll just say it's for charity. We'll
Not
do it at the
any
Citrus
fence.
Bowl.
We've already
Bring your
established that it
fences
can't be
to
any
us. We'll give you jet skis. I got to call it Bradshaw after this, and we're going to need the full production department.
All right, EJ. Enough wasting time. Wasting
it.
everybody's time.
All right, enough time
Well,
wasting. Let's get to
what do we
wasting.
got?
Get to the nerd stuff. Let's start off with nerd stuff this week. Have you guys been going to McDonald's?
No.
No, we're not big fat pieces of ass like you.
Daniel's in rare form today.
Yeah, he is. He's got that
I just
Titusville
I-
champagne over there.
You know what it is? It is.
Oh, God, yeah,
Look
yeah.
what I'm drinking. Look what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
drinking.
Oh, Monster Energy.
Yeah.
Cheers, buddy.
Titusville champagne. I'm gonna have one every Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
Tuesday.
Chelsea, my
It's
office
Titusville
drinks that same one.
Tuesdays.
She likes the sugar free, right?
This is Titusville Tuesdays with Tom and Dan. Every Tuesday, me and Sam are gonna
Yeah.
hot funnel a. This is lukewarm white Monster Energy drink. Man, oh
Don't
man,
drink that.
It's so good.
Anyway, what was it again, EJ? I
Have we
didn't
been
hear.
to
But
McDonald's?
the reason why I
Oh.
bring it up, have you
The Pokemon
The
situation.
answer to your question,
you
honestly,
got the Happy Meals? The
I
Pikachu
have.
Happy Meals?
I have been, and I've been twice because my daughter's favorite, like, hey, I did something good, or hey, dance was great. Like, we get a Happy Meal. We got our Happy Meal. She was very disappointed that they are no longer using the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway Epcot toy, or actually it's Hollywood Studios toy. They were doing those. Now it's Pokemon, Tom, and my daughter not happy, but I do have cards for you, EJ, that I saved.
Ooh, did you get the shiny Pikachu? Because that's the rare one. Hold on to that one.
No idea what I got. I haven't even looked at them. She just punted them into the trash. I dug them out and set them aside for you.
Now, what type of plastic garbage that will eventually kill the Earth?
I don't even think it's plastic.
Yeah,
These
it's got to be
paper.
plastic.
No, it's the trading cards. They're a limited run trading cards that are in the Happy Meals right now.
At least it's paper.
Biodegradable.
Because for whatever reason, it just gives me insane not even anxiety, just like a feeling of dread when anytime my kids pull out some plastic garbage toy, then they're looking at it and they're like,
that you bought for them, yeah.
Well, sometimes it's
in
already
McDonald's
broken
toy.
in
that you
the
bought for
Happy
them.
Meal.
No, of course. I bought it. I'm
so
contributing.
you could stop the dread, but
they want
double
the damn.
down.
They're like, I want the toy. They're like, oh God, I'm like, give it to you. You'll shut up.
wow.
Happy Meals cannot be stopped. It's an unstoppable force.
And then they look at it. They seemingly, in the time it takes for them to look at it in the car, they never bring it in the house. It just ends up on the floor, and then I punt it in the trash. And then every time I punt it in the trash, I'm like, this thing will live for 1 trillion years in a landfill, and this is why humans will all die. Like, if that's the feeling I get.
And it is all garbage. But these
you should do what I do. Just break it in front of your son.
Whoa, why would you do that?
Sorry.
That's terrible.
That's child abuse.
Wait, is that what we can hear at
my son? Because he's like,
is that your newest open mic, Jim? Because that's mean.
Someone call EJ's boss and say that
he's breaking his toys in front of his son. He's standing behind a Star Wars background. This guy's out of control.
They're both out right now. Don't bother my boss at home.
So what's the Poke? They partner with Pokemon, and is there a new movie coming out?
Yeah, they partnered with Pokemon to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Pokemon this year.
Can you believe that Pokemon could actually rent a car without the insurance rate going up on the rentable car?
So it came out in the mid 90s.
I always thought it was older than that because Pokemon started as a board game company, right? Or was that Nintendo that started as a board game company?
That's Nintendo. Was a card.
Yeah,
company,
I think I mixed those up, and I always think that Pokemon but a lot of those things that we attribute to video games or to anime and stuff like that, a lot of them are a lot older than you think.
Yeah.
You go back into some of that. What are those little models that like Gundam and stuff like that? When you get into that, it's old, right? That's 80s, late 70s, early 80s type stuff.
I want to say early 70s, late 60s was Gundam stuff.
Yeah, that stuff's cool.
Because I watched one of those How It Was Made or something like that, or that Toys That Made Us. They were talking about that, especially with Transformers and GoBots.
Tell me if you remember this, Tom. There was a time where if I went into let's say a Joann Fabrics or a Michael's craft store, the quintessential craft store, you would go back. I'd be tagging along with my mom, right? So I'd go into the store, and then she'd go off to get something to make some pattern or something, and I'd go to the puzzles and the crafts. And back there were a series of, they had car models, but the thing that intrigued me the most, that I knew the least about, were the Japanese models of these Gundam anime characters.
Yeah.
And they only had a few of them because I'm assuming they had to import them from Japan, or it wasn't very popular in the States, but they only had a few of them in there. But I always looked at them as a kid and been that looks cool as hell. What is it? But because I didn't have access to any of the videos or anything. I never knew what it was. DeLand, Florida is not your anime capital of the world. So you only had 2 of those models at Rose's or Joann's. It's weird how that type of information doesn't get to the fringe much, Yeah. Those type of toys.
I remember going to see the models back. My mom used to do a lot of arts and crafts. Well, she still does, but I used to go to Michael's and go see the models in the back. That was the fun aisle.
That was the fun aisle.
Everything else was garbage.
Yeah, it was all grandma stuff.
When McDonald's does these promotions where they start doing the toy promotions, is it worldwide or is it regional? How does that work?
I think it's United States is usually the case, because sometimes they do different stuff in Mexico. They do different stuff in Canada. It's just it's regional by country.
Is it all of the United States? Every single participating McDonald's will have a Pokemon toy?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but there was some that were getting it first, and those are the ones that friends would tell me about. The one on iDrive would get it first, and then you had to go to different ones.
What does I guess who owns Pokemon? Is it Nintendo?
It's the Nintendo company.
Okay,
yeah.
what does
the
Nintendo?
Pokemon company through Nintendo?
Yeah, what does Nintendo pay McDonald's for that? Like, that's a gigantic. Like, you know how many McDonald's there are? Like,
No, I know.
How much do you think they pay? 100 million? I don't even know.
I want to say it's. No, I know that doesn't.
mean,
that
that's
sounds
insane,
small,
right?
though, doesn't it?
Yeah, because
like $100 million.
I think it's kind of an equal partnership. If it really drives people to go get these stuff, like they're talking about how adults are buying too many Happy Meals and kids are not getting.
No,
them.
he's absolutely correct. Like this, out of all of them, like I love goofing on EJ and his dumb Nintendo garbage and Pokemon, like because that's all a
that's
goof.
short, yeah, of
but
course,
if you're not
that's short-sighted,
goofing, if you're just being realistic, EJ
drives
is one
money.
of hundreds of people in Orlando right now that are grown-ass men and women buying Pokemon stuff at McDonald's because it's that popular.
So is it it can't be an even trade, right? I mean, corporations that big, Nintendo and McDonald's.
The one before that was
$1 billion
The one before
corporation.
that was Hasbro. Because
it was
the
like
one before that was
Monopoly
Disney.
and like
so you had Disney, then you had Hasbro, and then you had Nintendo Pokemon.
But I think
Disney's
Hasbro
your bigger one.
Yeah, but they pay for that, like
and they were just doing the Disney Mickey Minnie Runaway Railway. That's all they did. One ride, one park in Florida. Now, I don't know if that was nationwide. I think it was.
Who benefit? Okay, let's talk about this. I mean, obviously, my questions are stupid because, of course, there is some sort of trade. Like, it's not all one side because they benefit. But who gets more benefit? So let's look at this as just the deal, right? Pokemon is popular, right? And then these cards are becoming popular, so kids are going to want to go get these cards, right? So that drives McDonald's sales, right?
Not necessarily.
But then on the opposite, there's probably millions and millions of people who've never even heard of Pokemon that are getting the
Maisie hates Pokemon, not really into it. Saw it and was like, oh, it's Pokemon.
And then starts researching and then it enhances the popularity of Pokemon because every single Happy Meal they sell, there's no other option. You're getting the dang Pokemon.
It's actually an easy one, too, because I think
Seriously, right?
It's all cards, right? There's nothing else to collect.
Yeah, it's all cards and like a card holder is the other thing that's in the packet.
Is it more valuable to McDonald's because the Pokemon?
I say it's more valuable. Well, no, it's more valuable to McDonald's, I think, yeah.
I think it's more value to McDonald's because this drives people to go to McDonald's.
Because even a lot of people that don't like McDonald's are going
You're buying a Happy Meal for your kids, and then you're also buying like a burger and some fries and a shake for yourself.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a Happy Meal, too, unless you're me.
So Nintendo's saying, hey, we're providing more of a value to you. But if I was McDonald's, I'd be like, yes, but we do X amount of billion of Happy Meals. How much?
Right.
I mean,
maybe you should have been in on this meeting.
But then it's like, so we're going to be promoting your brand in every one of our Happy Meals.
Right.
So that's X amount of value.
But I
know that. I mean,
I tend to agree with Sam because
there are people that are going there specifically and buying like 10 different Happy Meals just because of this toy that never even go to McDonald's.
We have
that
one
is true.
on
but
the
how
line
many?
standing in front of
a
it.
lot.
Yeah,
they're selling out.
No, I know.
They're having to
lot.
restock all the McDonald's right now because they've run out.
Which is surprising to me, considering I thought the other toys would be more popular.
But not more than I feel like they're selling more Happy Meals to people that don't know of Pokemon or didn't go there because of it than they are selling to people going there because of it, right? It has to be because of the amount.
Even if that's the case, you're either into Pokemon or you're not. So if you're like Maisie and you're not, you're just going to punch it in the trash. You're just going to get disappointed.
Because, Tom, to your point, I'm already in just
Exactly,
based
you're
on
already there.
food because May likes Happy Meals.
But you're not necessarily going to get into Pokemon because of it.
So no matter what,
that's marketing.
It is, but no matter what, she likes the food, so she's going to be there for that. So to what you're saying, the marketing is worth something. It just she was not the target rich environment.
Of course, yeah.
Not the right person.
But then
not a
make
P1.
but then the other millions of kids that were just handing this free marketing to these kids and getting them into Pokemon.
There's also
they
something
don't know.
to be said about what you're talking about too, because it's an easy access thing to get into. It's not like we're talking about hockey. We're talking about Pokemon cards. It's paper cards. Easy to get into, cheap.
Yeah.
We're not talking about soccer or hockey or something where you need $1,000 worth of gear to play.
And if I was McDonald's, I'd be like, all right, we're giving them the starter pack or the Pokemon cards, but they'll go and look online and find out you could buy these Pokemon cards from Nintendo,
Damn.
right? From Pokemon Corporation. And so that's going to drive Pokemon or Nintendo sales because people are going to want to collect more, and they're not just going to come to McDonald's to get them. They're going to get them because this is a thing they sell, right?
Damn, I didn't realize it.
It's a game. It's part of the game, right?
Yeah, I guess the Oviedo McDonald's was out all weekend.
Yeah, a lot of them are selling out. Yeah,
That's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Anyway, I'm fascinated with what's the deal.
Yeah.
like
The deal behind it. Yeah.
I bet if
think
you
about it,
dug
you're paying
hard
for
enough,
you're paying
eventually
for
you'll
the
find.
production of the cards. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, the Nintendo is paying for the production of the cards, so they're providing something as well. So McDonald's is already providing the food, and so it's already there. So I think it's pretty even. I don't think I don't think it's one-sided. Is giving everything.
This is a good one too for boys and girls, and for the ease of the line because you don't have to select. It's literally just cards. That's all you're getting.
Yeah,
There's no gender here. It's cards. You're getting cards, like you said.
Yeah.
That's all you get.
Yeah.
I like
It's
that.
unisex.
I've always
Yeah.
been a big fan of. That's why I like snapbacks. That's what you get. It's
All
gonna
right.
fit
Or
most.
Legos.
Fit most.
Next story, EJ.
Well, since we're talking about food, have you seen the all cloned? What is it? 3D printed ribeye.
Yeah, I
from
saw
cloned
that.
living cells made by Aleph Farms, an Israeli
What?
food tech startup.
Yeah, that
Have you
was.
seen this?
You know the website that you and I love, Uncrate.
Uh-huh.
They had it in their luxury items. You can buy a 3D printed.
Yeah, it's like
ribeye.
a $50 steak.
Yeah, it's expensive. I'd buy one for the show.
It's
though, just to
expensive, but
try
it's
it.
real like living cells. They use like the muscle tissue and the blood and like the connective tissue. So it's like but no living thing is harmed because it's cloned meat.
It's kind of gross. It doesn't look good.
Cloned. It's
It looked pretty
man-made.
good. Like
I didn't think it looked good. It looked gray. It's very gray.
Yeah,
Here,
I think they just cooked it wrong.
I'm gonna pull
Well,
this up so everybody can see it. Hopefully,
It's like a man-made diamond, where you could say chemically, or like the it's exactly the same as a diamond. Like there is no difference between the elements of a man-made diamond and a diamond that's mined.
it's too gray. Whoever cooked this needs to be punched in the face.
And I think it's the same. This is the same thing where there's no chemical or like the basic difference between an actual piece of meat from a cow and this meat.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. This one's just man-made, which creeps everybody out for whatever reason.
It says Alpha Farms has introduced the first cultivated ribeye, the world's first cultivated ribeye steak, and it doesn't disappoint. The slaughter-free piece of meat was created in partnership with Technion Israel Institute of Technology and uses 3D bioprinting technology to replicate the qualities of traditional cuts of meat, starting with real cow cells. The process prints these living cells and cultivates them into a lab to produce the texture, taste, and nutrients of a ribeye that you'd order at your favorite steakhouse.
EJ, do you understand 3D printing, this kind of thing?
No, not any clue at all. But
this is
did you watch
3D
John Oliver this weekend?
bioprinting. It's a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, like they talk about like.
It's not like you're just making a Star Wars helmet.
No, I know.
Yeah. No, it's not just straight plastic.
And with this
Yeah.
bioprinting, they've talked about being able to eventually maybe print out hearts, human hearts, and the different like organs and stuff. Now, the only, in my mind, this is Westworld, the intro of Westworld. Then follow me here, because you know the intro of Westworld, how they're like pretending to print the horses or whatever, and the humans, and it's like muscular, like in there to show the different evolution.
Yeah.
That's the only idea I have of how this is done, is like the Westworld, because I've never seen it. I don't even have any reference to like how is it done, and how is it done that small? Like I've seen 3D printers like print blobs of plastic, or like they do bigger structures, or it's just like it's pulling pieces of plastic across. What is this?
Do you print it cooked? Or do you print it raw and then cook it?
I think you print it raw.
I think it's printed raw because it's like, I think it's stem cells.
I want to
Because
print
what they're
it
using
cooked.
is stem cells, and it just creates, it just replicates over and over.
You heat up your squirting tube, so every squirt comes out pre-cooked.
So is it just?
Can't we just eat a shake? Why does it got to be in the meat form? Just put everything go into a shake.
So, okay.
That's where we're moving, shake land.
A ribeye is the muscle of the animal, right?
Yeah.
So
it's the eyes of your ribs.
And
a lot of people don't know about those.
So basically, is it just taking a liquid form of this protein, biological protein,
Cow cells.
muscle, whatever. It's cow cells. I don't even think it's a. Is it?
They call them cow cells.
Okay, it's cow cells.
Real cow cells with genetic engineering.
And then are they just stringing together each?
I think they're growing it.
Yeah, it's grown.
Yeah.
Kind of with stem cells.
Because it says
like, you know how they take stem cells and it just replicates the actual tissue that it's up on top of, and then over time it grows more of that same cell.
So they
And
print
that's why you do. Yeah, sorry.
They print the actual living cells and then are incubated to grow, differentiate, and interact in order to acquire the texture and qualities of a real steak.
I'm on their website here.
Does anybody understand?
Science.
You
No,
know,
I'm
no,
not.
but you
Hey, look at their
you read
website.
something, but I'm like, does it grow like a fungus? To you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean by grow?
Like in a petri dish style?
Yeah,
like
that's what
the
I'm
cells
thinking, like
are
petri
dividing.
dish.
They're-
Yeah.
They continue to.
They incubate it like in a.
Probably like in a vacuum
Hey,
sealed
look,
thing. It just
I'm on
grows
their
over time.
I'm on their website.
That doesn't
and
really explain anything. I'm
it's
still
a bunch
confused.
of nerds.
Well-
One of them's got a beret on.
Even if an actual scientist explained it to you, you wouldn't understand.
No, I can understand. I'm saying, is it start off with like a chewing gum blob of?
Yeah, I think
cell?
so.
Yeah, probably.
Well, no, you're saying you think so, but I'm asking, is that how it is? And
Well, let me go ahead and do a goddamn research paper on it, Tom. I can't
Yeah.
do it in 2 seconds.
Well, and then does it that from that chewing gum blob? Then it
I'd literally have to do research. I can't do it within
Okay, well,
I got
Nerd
it.
Jock right
I mean,
now.
I got it.
You
It's
want all
sorry.
these finite descriptions of,
Okay, hold
of
on.
the
I
details.
got
Just
it.
read
You
the
guys would-
headlines, like,
okay,
just what he's talking
everybody
about. That's what I
shut
think.
up, especially you. We isolate cells from a healthy cow without slaughtering the animal. Then they say the cells grow and form, so they mirror those cells. They're not telling me how the growth process.
Okay, all right, yeah.
So if you want a specific type of
Yeah,
growth
yeah,
process,
yeah.
I'm gonna guess that they're gonna label
He
that
doesn't want you to guess.
like a well no I'm gonna say like it's gonna be like a synthesis. It's gonna have a cis on the end of it, and they're gonna say like this is the way that the energy explodes and then divides and then continues to growth. You know,
Yeah,
through
yeah.
I know you understand
It's like-
cellular
well,
regeneration.
it's like
Yeah,
bread.
mitosis.
You know, bread
Yeah.
expands and then into a loaf. It starts with a small. You know what I'm saying? And like, I'm like, is that how? I don't know. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But
there's no like.
But once you figure that out, is that really going to help you? I guess that's what Sam's saying and EJ is once you
because
under.
that's not really 3D printing. In my mind, it's like Westworld is 3D printing. You're actually taking and you're printing every
Oh,
strand
okay,
of muscle.
now I
That's
see what
that's
you're
what I'm
saying.
saying. And this is you're making basically baking bread in my mind. Of
Okay.
like, you know, and then it's expanding like a
Yes.
fungus or a living thing. And I wanted the 3D printing Westworld, like every muscle
So
strand.
no matter what we would have told you, you wanted that anyways.
You wanted
No,
West-
he's saying
No,
you
no,
can't
but-
get out of that.
Well, Westworld's the answer, Tom.
No, because they said
Just go with Westworld.
Oh, hold on, everybody's
Westworld's the answer, Tom. That's what you. That's what you
because
want.
they said 3D printing, so it's
Let you
this,
eat cake.
You know what sucks? Every time I get to a point where I go, I understand what he means. You guys all turn on him at the end, and I'm like, but I get it.
Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm an idiot because they say
No,
3D.
you were about to say maybe I'm the crazy one, which would mean that
Yeah.
everybody thinks I'm crazy.
That's right.
I knew it.
No,
Let's all turn against each other.
everybody's like,
Knew you're all out to get me.
Mexican standoff.
everyone's like, you're crazy. I'm explaining it to you, but
No one said that.
They're saying
We're all trying to figure it out too.
3D printing. I thought it
3D
was,
bio-
They're just as lost
bioprinting.
as you. I just
And
had
you're
to have
growing meat in the lab. You're not exactly making a replica of a steak. You're not cloning a steak.
no, I
Yeah.
know, but growing meat is different than 3D printing meat in my
You're
definition.
3D printing the cells and then growing the cells.
Gotcha. Okay. So,
Wait a minute, what? No, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that. I'm
do
sorry.
it now.
That's all.
We're
That's
not
all. I
going
said.
another 5 minutes. Ago.
so you're actually are you building the cellular structure through with the 3D printing machine? Is that it?
Then you're cooking it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anyway, we'll never figure it out. Next story.
You know, it's magic.
Magic. Just
Well,
say
You know
magic.
what?
Another story that
It
I'm-
is just
How do
magic.
magic? How
It's
do
just magic.
How do magic
meat.
work?
It's magic
How
meat.
do magnets? How do magnets?
Magnuts? That's a great idea. Print them. Print the magnuts. Tony, are you listening? Operation Magnuts is a go.
Don't yet.
Print the nuts.
Hold it.
That other number is way too high. I ran it by
Yeah.
Samantha. She's like, no. I was
Don't
like,
do
oh
it.
God.
1,000 magnuts.
No.
No.
Blow up the truck. Hit
Too
it.
much.
No, don't tell anybody.
Let's
that.
3D print some
I haven't
magnets.
talked to the guy yet. Anyway,
Next story.
All right. Do you want a happy story or a sad story?
sad.
What do you think? Give us all the
Sad. I want
I
all
want
that.
sad.
I want mad and
Oh, yeah.
sad.
Oh, you want mad and sad?
Yeah.
I got something for you. Sam, have you talked about the Joss Whedon story yet?
No.
On like, have Have you heard about this? About how he's kind of getting canceled by Charisma Carpenter, who was Cordelia on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, yeah, I did read that.
Charisma Carpenter.
Yeah, she was Cordelia Chase on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
You know what's
You guys
awesome?
didn't watch Buffy back in the day?
I did,
and I
yes.
used to have a
And
huge...
Angel, I used to love those.
I had a massive crush on Charisma Carpenter.
She's got a big mouth. You'd like her, Tom.
Big mouth and big boobies. And I had no idea that I would have a crush on Charisma Carpenter. But as I got older, the hardest thing for me to find would be a carpenter with charisma.
There it is.
I
Can't find them. And if you do, they're scam artists.
I never watched one episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, you're going to.
I think
you and I, buddy.
You
and me.
Was it good? What was it?
Yeah, it was good. I watched Buffy. I watched Angel.
I don't think you'd like it.
Was it like a cult thing?
Like a campy teen
like the
vampire.
Scooby-Doo gang, and they fought vampires.
You
and
would not
demons
like it, Tom.
and
With some
gods.
love.
Was it well written? Why
No.
did so many
crying.
people? No.
Not well.
I mean, it was
crying
for
in
the
it.
time.
Bad makeup.
Oh, I disagree. The music episode was the best. The musical, I have it on vinyl.
Once More with Feeling was the name of the episode.
So
Or the silent episode was the best one with the gentleman, where they used to chase you around and they were silent the whole time until the very end.
was it like every single episode was a different story from start to finish? Like a
Not
Yes, it
necessarily.
it contained
No.
episode, but there was also the story kind of went along
It was
a little
very
bit, but not
continuous.
much.
Okay, all right. And they're bringing it back. What are they doing? I didn't listen.
Well,
Oh
no.
my God.
There's an issue
They're
with
3D
Joss
printing
Whedon.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, actually.
No, they're saying that Josh Whedon was abusive during the whole filming of stuff like that to Charisma Carpenter
Yeah.
during the thing. I don't know the story, and it's kind of vague. in
He's
some
basically
parts,
the
but,
creator of Buffy, the show from back in the day, and Charisma Carpenter was the first one to come out really and said something
Yeah.
about how toxic of an
and then
environment
Michelle
it was.
Trachtenberg came
And now
forward,
a lot of
too,
people are
and
backing up her story.
Amber
Like this guy
Benson.
was a real POS.
Was he just a
Yeah.
D-head boss, or was it more?
Well,
was it a
the
lour?
one story that they talk about is during the third or fourth season of Angel, Charisma Carpenter became pregnant, and he went up to her and asked her, "Are you going to keep it?"
Well, it's a valid
And
question.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
the first thing I ask anyone who's pregnant.
It depends on how you ask it.
Yeah.
Because if you
Yeah.
ask it, are you gonna keep it?
Yeah.
If you
There
ask
was
it-
more to it. He would call her fat. He ended up firing her.
You
afterwards.
ask it
Yeah.
are you going to eat that?
He was really into the power complex of trying to embarrass people in front of the other coworkers.
Yeah, but
and
you
stuff.
see Stanley Kubrick do it.
Yeah,
That was terrible too.
and it becomes an amazing, that's why I do it around here. My God, the number of times that I don't flush my deuces just to drive you guys crazy.
There was a time where that was I think a management or a manager style, like a D head. They talk about it in we tie in some sports. EJ, in sports, there's the nice guy,
the mean coach and the nice coach.
Yeah, the mean coach and the nice coach, and there's different opinions on what
Wait,
works
that's
better.
what it's called?
Yes, we're very
Mean coach, nice coach.
It's
You
like
guys
the
are a bunch
Will
of
Belichick
dumb
versus
I
Tony
run
Dungy.
sports, so we went over to sports.
That's why they do mean coach, bad coach. You're like, what? Mean coach, nice coach. You guys are idiots.
And the what's the coach? The old coach of the Colts, and then he was a Tampa.
Tony Dungy.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Dungy.
It's
Christian
Bill
Dungy.
Belichick and Tony Dungy.
Yeah.
They're like the total opposites.
So, and there's arguments which works better or whatever, and it just turns out everybody has their own style, obviously, and leans more towards one or the other. But I feel like back in the day, you could be a a-hole to your employees, and you were actually praised by how good of a manager because you got them to do the work.
Yeah,
but I
he's
think
tough
that
on him.
it went
He gets results.
It went too far, probably, where it got into the range of what you're doing is insane, and
Is abuse.
your mind
instead of just
games.
helping.
Nice coach, mean coach, not insane coach, nice coach.
But that spectrum and where is the inappropriate? Where's the line now? There's like a lot of things. We're looking back at behavior from the past and being like, "Though this is horrible."
Well, this is still happening. This guy is still directing movies and
Oh yeah,
stuff.
'cause,
No,
that's
I
the
know.
reason Ray Fisher, the guy
Yeah,
that played
last
Cyborg,
year, yeah.
But he's probably.
yeah, he had issues, and that was one of the problems they had.
I mean,
I
the-
guarantee
and
you,
that's why he's not in the
it's probably
Snyder Cut,
changed a
like-
little bit. You can't get away with that stuff now.
This is going to sound insane. But the main problem, I think, is just these guys doing and being weird people. If they were just normal people, these things wouldn't happen.
Yeah, but you get
or they wouldn't be creative either, probably.
Yeah, that's the problem. You get into this world of like these directors who are
Yeah,
probably
but why do you have to
super
be mean to people to be creative? People
There's
tell me.
tons of directors that are not
But
abusive.
people
to
tell
the
me
workers.
I'm creative, right? But I don't think I don't have fun being mean to people.
There are a lot
Being
of
rude to you guys is not fun.
If you look back, there was, I think and EJ, you probably know this, but I've heard stories of like some of the most famous movies, and I mean they were filmed like in the 70s. You know, I'm talking back in the day.
Yeah.
And
with The Shining, they're still talking about that now because of old. What's her name doing a lot of interviews now?
There was a thing with directors where they were
Shelley Long
heralded as being like geniuses because they would put their like employees in their cast of the movie through like it's been like some crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It was exactly.
Kirk Cameron was that way.
Yeah.
Kirk Cameron almost drowned everyone in the abyss. Remember?
You mean James Cameron?
James
Kirk Cameron. Oh my God, he was horrible on Fireproof. My God, he wouldn't let anybody watch internet porn. This guy's out of control. I was trying to get on OnlyFans. He had a censor on it. He locked me down. I just went to the bathroom. Kirk Cameron locked on Pornhub again.
He's like,
I'll get you,
animal.
I'll get you, Christian animal. You locking out my Pornhub.
So James Cameron, and
James Cameron.
This is the worst segment on the show, by the way, right? If you can't even know that it's James Cameron and not Kurt Cameron.
But
they mixed them up. They both have Cameron as the name.
All I'm saying is
Shelley
that
Duvall, Shelley Long, we get it all wrong.
A lot of directors and people would do this, and it was like people back then would praise them for being like, "Oh man, this guy got everything out of all their actors." But we're looking at it now like, "Oh my God, you're an animal! Like, what are you doing? You're a crazy person."
Well, no, it was like you're right. There was something to be said about that, and like nowadays, I feel like so many.
Not that it's right.
It's not
I'm just saying it was at a time praised that this guy was great at his job.
And when you say that now, so many people will jump in immediately and be like, well, it's terrible. Look, nobody's saying it's not terrible. It is terrible. But like at the time, people were saying his methods are, look at these crazy.
Yeah.
Look at the results he gets through these type of methods.
And people knew what was happening at the time. And the actors and actresses, they would, because it was just the norm back then. Now, albeit wrong. And
don't bring Norm into this.
No, but like
he's absolutely wrong.
But that's how like everything is. We look back at everything
as we should and reflect and be better.
Of course, and and we are better now. We're trying to get better.
Sometimes I like to look at things though and just like do nothing and just kind of sit there.
Yes, what you're saying is true, and it's terrible that people used to normalize that like that was a good thing what they were doing.
Yeah, but then there's also that some people obviously if you're breaking the law and stuff, it should be handled. Every situation should be handled appropriately. But there is the looking back at a different time and saying, "Oh my God, this is horrible." You could do that all day long with everything, and it's just society was different back then.
Yeah, but what if you continue to do it up until 2021?
I doubt
that's what's happening here. Is what we're saying.
I think what Tom's saying too, there will always be people that will continue to do it.
Of course.
And that's why, it's up to the rest of us to march forward and leave them in the dust.
I bet you that he can't get away with what he was getting away with back then.
We literally are telling you that he was until last year, July 2020.
Okay.
Thanks for listening. I know, I get it. Nerd jockey tuning out a little bit.
No, I know what he's saying. He's saying not based on that. He's saying that right now he's being caught for the stuff that he did way, way, way back.
And I'm saying he's being caught for something that he filmed last year is what I'm telling you.
And
he hasn't changed.
But to Tom's point is that it wasn't that one singular instance and everybody was like, he did one thing, get him now. No, it's the past too.
It's all of it.
Yeah.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's not one
He was
instance
wrong the whole time, but now he's getting in trouble for it because he's doing it now, and that's still wrong.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, because now you're in a different society and you can't get away with it, and that's good. That's what we're saying. It's like you can't do the same stuff you were always doing, and I'm just saying like you can't. No one can get away with this stuff now without people, whistleblowing, right?
That's what's happening.
Everybody's like calling everybody out, like, "Hey, this guy's doing this," and
you shouldn't do that.
Yeah. That's good.
Okay,
That's how society changes, right?
Yeah. Give us something
Let's
else.
go to the happy story. Would you guys rent a theater for $100 for 2 hours to play video games?
No,
because that's what they're doing in Georgia right now. You wouldn't go like, what game would you pick if you could do that?
Well, I have a house.
Like if someone gifted it to you.
Wait, what?
It sounds like more trouble than it's worth. Like I would have to be a kid for this to be relatively entertaining to me. Because going to a disgusting movie theater to play something I could play on my clean couch is not going to fly.
Well, I did find this interesting.
This is a thing they're doing now?
Yeah, because
they're doing this now, yeah.
Movie theaters are looking for alternative revenue while they're not being able to. So then they're renting out. And I can for sure see rich guys for their kids or whatever, like as a present. Like if my sons, they're super into Minecraft, and for their birthday present, I rented them, they could play Minecraft on a gigantic screen.
Now I understand.
For a couple hours with a couple of their friends, and they all could play for, it's smart because they're
Fortnite.
they're sitting there being unused. That's it. That's all you got.
Wouldn't you love to do? Sorry. Back in the day, wouldn't you love to play like GoldenEye on Nintendo 64 on a huge screen? Would be fantastic back in the day.
Well, I want to play the current video games that are better than GoldenEye. EJ, I'm not a nerd, and you're telling me some dumb ass.
Whoa. That I like.
Daniel wants to play the best game possible. Now you want to go back and play Nintendo 64 GoldenEye.
If I'm going to play Pong, I'm going to play Pong.
Cyberpunk on there and play it and have big floppy
But it's
dogs
gross.
going everywhere on a big screen TV.
No, but movie theaters are gross. You movie people drive me insane. You always tell me how good movies are, the big screen. It's gross. You guys go there and you sit in these disgusting places with a bunch of other people. It's never good, and the movies are never good. That's why I don't like theaters. It's disgusting. My house is fine. Just fine.
I guess it's the novelty of the gigantic screen, which it probably
VR will kill all of that, right? I mean, you buy the kid the screen, he puts it and make the screen as big as you want.
Yeah. That's it seems like just having a bigger and bigger screen at some point, it's law of diminishing returns where you're looking, you can't even play it. You have to look around. You know what I'm saying? The screen's too big.
My TV is almost too big for video games. You know what I mean? Like, you had to get used to it.
Yeah, there is a point where it's probably not good, or you're diminishing the experience.
Yeah.
If
most real gamers, Juan, and guys at PC gamers, real gamers as I call them, those guys would tell you there is a perfect size for gaming, and there's an optimal size. They'll throw it up there. There is a screen size. I'm sure maybe it's different for everybody, but I'm sure there's a legitimate area that if you get too big, you're gonna.
You're not seeing the corners really well.
It's worth it. Talk to someone who's played a video game on a gigantic screen to see if it is is it blow?
I was always told it's harder, and it was playing Cyberpunk on my TV.
You kind of almost have to scan the screen
Yeah.
to watch everything that's going on.
You have to sit further back.
I don't want to do that.
That's why most real gamers have a nice monitor, just a nice, perfectly sized monitor.
Well, if you sit a football field away, then it becomes. Why are we doing this?
Yeah,
80-foot screen.
Yeah, most people are saying
the surround sound.
I mean, guys, there's a reason 24-inch and 27-inch monitors are kind of the standard. And I'm sure that's pushed by
optimal.
Yeah, that's probably the perfect size for what we got. We probably got time for one more.
Yeah. Well,
let's go over to Jock then.
Okay.
Let's start that then.
Yeah.
Let's start off. Where should we start off? Let's talk about you guys are UCF alums. You hear about they hired a new head coach?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I did see it. I just don't know enough about college sports to even know if their hiring was good. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know. And I don't even know enough about coaching.
Most of my UCF alumni folks that are really big into the football, like Whopper, our buddy Whopper was in. Most of those guys are saying that it's kind of sad because UCF is just the correct size to have a coach come we're going to get good coaches, but they're never going to stay. It's kind of like Arsenal, as a farm team. We get really good players in, and then we sell them off to other places, and then they blossom. So most people are saying that the coaches that stop here are just stopping.
It's like a stepping stone.
Yeah, just enough to make our program decent, and then they go to the next big thing.
EJ, you know more than I do when it comes to coaching. I feel like nobody really understands because it's so complicated, what coaching really means, and in college and high college professional level. And I feel like we all hear these stories this person was a special teams coach for Belichick for 3 years, and then now he's a head coach of whatever. And you're like, was that good? Of these special, I don't know, why is it special teams coach, and then it's quarterback coach, and it's the defense. I don't know enough. It seems like insanely complicated.
Can I go a little more layman than even you? Like, I don't understand how you can be a head coach for some place, get fired, and then they go, like, yeah, but now you're in charge of our entire offense. Well, you just got fired. You should not be in charge of anything for a year.
Well, then it's like
this guy got fired by Auburn, and now he's the head coach at UCF.
I know, that's weird. Well, that wouldn't happen with a receiver, or it wouldn't happen with a quarterback, right? Most of the time, well, maybe a quarterback.
It's weird though. Like it's like, oh, well, he didn't operate well under this system, and then it's like, oh, he's a play calling head coach, and this person's more of a figurehead head coach. He looks around, and they're just like, okay. It seems like we all make comments about coaching decisions, and we have no clue what the hell is going on.
Yes.
Well, then you got to worry about recruiting, because at college level you got to recruit also. So that's usually a big plus or minus for most coaches. Are they good at recruiting? Can they get the 5-star prospects to come to your school even though they shouldn't be getting them coming?
Let's talk about recruiting for a second, because it seems
we're
like
gonna run out of time. So I'll just.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We go 4 more minutes and then just split it.
We also have a guest.
That's what I'm more worried
about.
Someone's
waiting.
Yeah, you just floated away to your own little
Where
island
are
in
you?
the sky. He was on a
We're
Mario
gonna print some
cloud.
3D meat for you. Dude.
I can do anything I want, right? I'll give it 4 minutes and you split it. You're my employees. Split it.
I thought we were going to go to. Then we're going to have a 2 minutes.
Tom's Joss Whedon. Here we go.
Anyway, all right, we're out of time, EJ.
Oh, so we can't talk about Fan Control Football League. Have you seen that from last weekend?
Is that the one where they call the plays?
Yeah, it's on Twitch, and you can call their own play. Johnny Manziel is the quarterback for one of the teams.
Oh god!
And they play the games on Twitch. Last one was last Saturday.
I saw a headline that Manziel, like, he lost the game and he said, like, win or lose we booze. Like, he says he's just a GD 90s football personality now. Like, it's
Well, I was thinking, I think it's time for Tom to buy another team, because you could buy teams in the league if you with a small investment.
Nobody wants this. Nobody that I know ever is like, you know what? We need some other BS football. Like, it's just everybody. I think
we're done.
From the people I talk to, they're fine with the sports they have. In fact, they don't have enough time to even
And the
consume.
schedules are all screwed up now because they're laying on top of each other. It used to be spaced like kind of good. Now we have to watch at the same time. I'm trying to get into hockey right now.
Yeah, like I feel like if you're really into NFL, that's fine. It's fine to have a break and then look forward to something. It's not like I need some other BS football that they have. The fans call the plays. It's on Twitch and it's got Manziel and some other.
Sam looked at me because she thought you were going to spit on your microphone because you were that mad.
It's got some other guys that were kicked out of the best league and now we're playing. Like, I don't want it. Who wants this? Does anybody want it? Anybody?
No one. Like real life man and be able to call my own plays. I think that's a great idea.
Like what you're saying. It's like, why would I watch the guys that aren't in the best league? It's like, why do I watch EJ's open mic when I can watch Dave Chappelle on Netflix?
But no one's like,
I'm going to be at S Sandwich this weekend. You should come to set.
Are you hosting? Who's hosting?
Ross is hosting.
Ross is hosting? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I wish there was less of a caliber of what I love, and so I could watch some version of that, but not as good. Who wants it? It's stupid.
Yeah, when you put it like that, it's pretty bad.
All right, EJ, we gotta go.
If that's the case, then come to MyCon. It's better than MegaCon.
All right, MyCon.
Better than MegaCon. They won't get sued for that catchphrase.
It's hard to believe that. It seems like that is not the case.
I mean, you're really promising a lot.
Yeah. It's got to be.
I just want my wife to get more emails and get in trouble. That's what I'm going for.
It's got to be like 100 or 1,000 times less better.
That's just rude to his wife.
My wife is going to fight you now.
No.
She's been learning jujitsu. She's going to put you in an armbar.
I'm just saying, just out of budget. Why? It's like they have.
It doesn't mean that it's not better in heart. It just means that just purely on the paper, it's better. Bye. Oh, nope, he's gone.
That blew my
God! I blew my own ears out. Oh God, they're all playing now. Every single injury. Okay, I got them all back.
All right.
I still don't know how to haven't figured this out yet because Butler used the manual to wipe because we ran out of toilet paper.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler's here. The Fisher here. How you doing, buddy?
Good. So we got a couple guests on Zoom with us right now.
Indeed.
They're going to promote their sports podcast called Ball Busters, and one of the hosts has had a job that I know me and
Weirdest
Daniel
of jobs.
are curious about, because I'm more curious about how it's changed and now what the reality of it now is, because it's so like totally different
You
than what it was 20 years
you
ago.
spoke for me, and I don't like that, but I am not at all, not even slightly curious about our next guest's jobs. Never even heard of them.
So on Skype with us, or Zoom, or whatever the hell it is,
my God.
I got Lizz Tayler and Danny Feedback. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Hey,
Good.
thanks so much for being on the program, guys. We appreciate the time.
So first, tell us when and how you started the podcast and where people can find it.
Well, we started back about halfway through the football season. I guess we had about 2 or 3 warm-up sessions, and we were mixing in different people. We started as 3, and we went up to 4, and now we settled in. We got 4 guys. We got a great producer, Dirk. You know him very well.
Yeah, we've known those guys for many years.
I heard Fritz over there too.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
What did you want them to say to that, Tom?
I just want to tell Fritz
Shout
I
out
heard
to
him.
Fritz.
I like Tom's like,
Shout
I
out
also
to
heard
Fritz.
Fritz. Fritz, if
I
you
know
could
you,
just,
Fritz. I know you.
can you make a small noise, Fritz?
I heard Fritz and I was like, there he is. Sorry.
all right. So yeah,
I like you too, Danny. Sorry, Mr. Feedback. I should call you.
Yeah, you should call him Mr. Feedback.
I like you too, Mr. Feedback.
It's only Mr. Feedback if you're nasty.
So we're just doing pretty much every week. We get together on Saturday nights, just hanging out with your buddies. You know, we joke around, we make some crazy bets, we bust each other's balls, or in Lizz's case, different things. But yeah, we get the tailgate. Yeah, it's just a blast, just having fun.
All I heard is bets, because I love gambling.
Yeah. Now Tom
and
has
I want to bet you.
Tom
guys
has a
something.
bit of a gambling a bit of a gambling problem.
No. It's not only. It's only a problem if it affects your
it affects
family.
your job, because you won't stop talking about it. It's
Yeah,
driving us crazy.
That's true. And I guess money. I've lost lots of money.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And then I moved some around, and then
Now, a lot of people. I'm gonna venture a guess that the vast majority of the people that listen to our show both know that you have a gambling problem, and also know Lizz's other job. And then I'm also gonna guess that Lizz knows more about sports and can gamble better than you ever could.
100%.
And I'm Team Liz. And so go ahead. Why don't you ask and tell people what Liz used to do, or maybe we can ask Liz. I'll let you do that since you seem to be the most comfortable with it.
I'm not. It's part of the sheet.
God.
Yeah, Tom is the resident, probably the most open and free, liberal member of the show, the spiciest, especially when it comes to anything.
Some might call him a freakily.
Yeah, he's
No,
a bit.
I'll ask Liz, because I don't want to. I don't know. Liz, do you talk about your former career often?
I mean, yeah, if people bring it up, I'll talk about it. I'm an open book.
This perv's got to bring it up.
I don't want to
knew you'd bring it up, Tom. I knew it.
I don't want to be the quintessential radio guy that bring. This is all he wants to talk about.
Without you knowing, I have a microphone in our office, and I have Butler sitting in front of your computer. Butler, read his history. Read the history.
Well, I had to look it up. Samantha said to look up Liz Taylor, Lizz, and then I looked at it, and then scroll.
You went to videos though, and I was like, no.
Why was I want to talk about sports?
She's a sports broadcaster.
And you guys look at his hair. It blew his hair off. So he watched a video of yours. It blew his hair off. That's fake hair.
So Liz
used to work in the adult
film industry.
No, not anymore.
No, I said used to. He said used to.
Oh, yeah, I used to, yes. For 10 years.
That's a long time.
By the way, I'm getting old when I see 1990, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so young. And then I forget how long ago 1990. Like, I was like, can't we even talk about it? Like,
oh my God.
Is she of age?
Yeah, that's how I look at 1990. You were born in 1990, and now it blows my mind.
It's the same way I feel too. Like, I was born in '76, so it's like anything. Like, but anyway, Tom's, to go back to your original question. Transitioning from something that has a stigma to something that is extremely popular. I mean, sports radio, sports broadcasting, sports podcasting, I'd say is probably, at least in our area, comedy and sports podcast are the biggest pie.
Well, I've heard murder first, which is odd.
Yeah. But those are the three big: sports, comedy, and true crime.
I feel like we realize the popularity of murder through podcasts. We're like, why is it so popular? Like, why is
popular
it the top?
than sex?
Why is it the most popular?
No way, because like 48 Hours and Unsolved Mysteries, that was all popular way before.
So has it been difficult for you to try and transition to this and to, make a mark for yourself in sports broadcasting?
I mean, honestly, no, because I can still use like the fan base that I had when I was shooting porn.
Sure.
And I can like switch them over to a podcast. So I like it a lot, actually. It's not hard at all. It was very easy.
Well, it kind of leads me to my next question, because I'm sure, and you said it was 10 years ago. So the industry was, I mean, even 10 years ago, it is starting to change, but it's completely different now. And it seems like everybody's just literally making their own content. Now, speaking of your own podcast.
OnlyFans. Yeah. Everyone's on OnlyFans.
Yeah. Right. And it's
direct to consumer for everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also, it seems like an way easier barrier of entry, because before, like, I mean, you want to go farther back, like decades ago, you would have to deal with, like, the stereotypical. And you, I don't know if you knew this, Liz, but I've been in the industry as well. As an industry insider, we could talk openly, because I was in adult films back in the day.
Yeah, you were.
But
was it Bang Bros or was it Reality Kings?
No, this is before that.
World.
I'm an older man. This is a Shane's World.
Shane's World. Shane's World.
That was pre Bang Bus.
If he grew his sideburns out, again, you'd recognize him from Laying with Christy Canyon.
No,
Ginger Lynn.
Now, I didn't actually. I didn't actually do. This is the odd part. I didn't actually do any of the pornography in there. I was doing stunts.
Oh, and real quick.
That's
And real quick, we're live on Twitch. You guys have a weenie in the shot. If you could remove said weenie, I had to.
Oh, that's right.
Twitch doesn't allow that.
Twitch doesn't allow that. So, if you'll just make him go away.
That was really just a dildo dart.
No, and then
it's something we lose a bet.
Oh my God. Get it off of there.
It wasn't real. Come on.
Hold on, feedback. We got weenie.
You don't know the rules, feedback.
We got Weenie Gate going on.
We do have Weenie Gate.
I'm there talking about gambling, and my producer and Daniel's freaking out, and they're clicking the button. I didn't know what was happening. I knew something was happening.
It's still there.
We can't put that. Put a towel.
No dildo nerds allowed.
Okay, there it is. It's gone now.
Okay, we're good.
You can just put a washcloth over it.
Yeah, just put a pillowcase on it. It's fine. But not a children's pillowcase. Preferably a plain pastel.
Anyway, Liz, I just feel like it's easier than ever if you wanted to sell your own content, and you don't have to deal with anybody. It's literally direct to consumer, and it kind of benefited people that had names already and popularity in the industry. They could easily be like, well, screw these production companies and screw these people paying me per scene. I'm literally going to make 100% of the profit and fill in myself.
OnlyFans takes a cut.
Yeah, or whatever. As close to 100% as humanly possible, and that's where everything is now, right?
Oh yeah. It's you make your own content, you sell it to your fan. There's no more DVDs really. It's all online. It's all streaming, webcams, OnlyFans. You can you just do it by yourself. You don't need this whole production company. You don't need boom mics over you. Just make your own scenes.
So is the industry dead? I mean, are there still production companies making a profit? Because just like you said, and it seems logical to me, that why would anybody do this if they could do it themselves? Is up and comers that need the way to get the popularity? Is that
you need to make your name first in order to sell your own content, so you need to shoot for the typical companies, the Bang Bros, the Browsers, Reality Kings, Vivid, Wicked, to get your name out there. Then you make your OnlyFans and your webcam pages, and that's how basically all the girls generate their money.
Liz, and nowadays, is there way, way less of a stigma with porn? And just because we've seen the biggest celebrities even, I mean, it's seemingly like they are releasing their own sex tapes for popularity reasons, and it's, rocketing their career. We've seen it with Kim Kardashian and like Paris Hilton and stuff. And whether
back in the day, that was years ago too.
No, I know. And then now it's like nudity. It just seems like there's way less of a stigma. Or do you still have people that find out about your past and like they still think one way or another about it?
No, it's everyone's cool about it. My family knows about it. Like all the celebrities are doing it. Like Aaron Carter has an OnlyFans,
Yeah.
Who was it? Bella Thorne? What?
Yep.
Yeah. Bella Thorne did it. I mean,
and she made like $1 million in a week, and she didn't even show any nudity.
Yeah.
So it's like they use it for different platforms as opposed to just, scenes and sex.
To take a left turn, which sport do you feel like during COVID and COVID times do you think was able to pivot the best?
I'm gonna have to go with the NFL. I mean, it was pretty unscathed. They somehow made it through the whole season. I didn't think it was going to happen, but they made it through. Had to delay a couple games from Sundays to Tuesdays or whatever. But for them to get through that, you got to think all the coaches involved and 53 players. I mean, it's amazing that they actually pulled that off.
Sure.
Yeah, and with everybody betting against it, like especially at the beginning, when it was like, how could this happen?
Well,
how
I didn't
could
think
you do
anything
it?
was going to happen, and I know Liz is a big fan of the soccer, especially the
I was
homegrown
going to say soccer.
Yeah, I thought that first tournament that the MLS put on, like once we got through that first tournament, I was like, and nothing. Remember, like I don't think they had one case, or if they did, it was like one or two. And it was like, oh my God, I think we can do something now. So I was pretty happy to see that. I thought MLS did a damn fine job of even showing other sports organizations that it could be done.
So, Liz and Dan, this is for both of you guys. I love sports gambling. I listen to a lot of stuff about.
Yeah, we told
sports
them about
gambling,
your problem.
And it seemed from the people I listen to and the podcasts I listen to, what's remarkable to me is the amount of time some of these people spend on research and keeping up on what's happening with every team. And so I wanted to ask you guys about this because I've talked to, we'll do like one sports segment a week and we'll fumble our way through it and we'll get information and facts wrong. People will call in and be like, you guys are idiots. Stop talking about this. We got this one guy that does a segment on our show called Nerd Jock, and people are constantly attacking him for getting facts wrong.
Well, they should.
Because in what I have found is the sports world is very much like the nerd world, and it's just basically nerds that like sports, and then they get into the analytics and they get into knowing all the teams, and it's the same thing. It's just
extremely similar.
One's Mandalorian, one's sports. It's the same damn thing. And so for you guys, how much time do you have to spend researching and immersing yourself into reading and to keep up? Because I'm sure you guys are just like everybody else, where one mistake and everybody discredits you. Like, oh, you don't know enough about the Miami Dolphins practice squad. Like, seriously, people get so crazy in depth. If you don't know who's the backup linebacker for the Steelers, then you're an idiot. So how do you guys handle that?
By losing bets and taking dildo darts to our rear. That's pretty much what happens on a weekly occurrence. Actually, Liz and I both, right? We just got tagged last Saturday.
Well, she's a pro.
Yeah,
I feel like
we bet wrong. We picked the Chiefs. We didn't know any better, but Tom, it sounds like you actually want to join our fantasy football league. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting this vibe off of you.
He's in.
So, yes, I will allow you to join our fantasy football league. Are you sweating? Is that you're wiping your brow now?
No, that's him fixing his hair that
no.
blew up later.
Mr. Feedback, by all this knowledge, I'm doing the calculations, and my chances of winning are going up. You bet on the Chiefs, the Super Bowl, and then the old dildo. And it's like, this seems way more
Chiefs than the old dildo. All right.
So are you just enthusiasts that like to gamble and you like sports, but you're not going too in depth into the analytics tell us about the show, because then that'll tell me whether or not I can gamble with you guys. Because I just need to know who's, when you sit at the table, at the poker table, you got to look around. And if you can't,
size up, yeah.
If you can't spot the donkey, then most likely it's you. You see what I'm saying?
Typically.
And so now, anyway, tell us about are you doing more of the, we're betting on these particular teams and it's just a coin flip, or...
Oh, you mean are you doing in-depth gambling, or is it like a...
Because there are two types of gambling.
Yeah,
There's sports market gambling, where you're tracking analytics and you're really trying to fine-tune, and then there's the gambling is all right, I'm going to pick Chiefs or Tampa, and then it's a coin flip.
Yeah, we're usually picking winners of the teams. Right now, we're transferring from football over to basketball season. So, but pretty much every week we throw up. Lately, it's been 5 basketball games, and we pick the winners. And then if you lose, it gets pretty bad. Besides the dildo darts, Liz hates mayonnaise, so she had to take a huge spoonful of mayo.
Yes.
Yeah. Hot peppers. We've had hot peppers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
like straight from the garden hot peppers.
Everything we like.
Yeah. What about mouse traps? Is there mouse traps?
Mouse traps. Hot peppers, mayonnaise, dildo darts. Give me all of it.
I got a guy that's out of work. His name's Tuttle. He's perfect for
He's
this.
the guy.
Oh, we've had him on the show.
Of course he did.
What did he get the dildo dart?
Oh, he is king dildo dart. One time he inflated a balloon in his rectum.
Don't.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So
like they do in fat people's arteries.
So are you guys just fans, but have this show and it's more fun rather than deep diving analytics and
okay. We do all of our study, every day of the week, and right before the show we get all the breaking news, so we have everything ready to say and it's all correct. But we're also fans. It's a show for fans by fans.
Yeah, it's not like your style. Like the stuff he listens to is boring old man.
We're not monotone. We're not we're not like Stephen A. Smith. We're just we have fun with it. We joke around. We bust each other's balls. We predict, what's going to happen.
Yeah. And dildo darts and mayonnaise. But this guy wants crunch the numbers.
I want guy on the spectrum, barely can speak in a microphone, talks just about his mathematical background and where the statistics lie.
Yeah, give me
we got a guy like that on the show. His name's Todd. We actually got 2 other guys on the show. Todd's slightly autistic. I'm joking. And
you need a couple of them.
Yeah, we got Brando. So we have a lot of fun. Todd actually knows everything about everything. Every sport. Oh yeah, he always has an argument. He's always taking the contrarian view.
He argues with himself too.
Yeah, and he never wins those.
You need the nerd. That's why I got Daniel. He does the computers, and then I'm
just waiting to get out of here today. I do my engineering. End of the day, I punch a card, get out of here.
What's the biggest bet you had with each other? And I go a prop bet where the loser, the old quintessential butt tattoo.
Well, Sam had to do a TikTok video.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We dabble in this too. We're
not. You're talking like you don't do it.
Yeah,
I know. I got excited.
You had your producer do a grandma TikTok video.
So what's the biggest bet you guys lost?
I think it's this upcoming week, because we're going to have the wrestler Drennan. He's coming on the show, and for was it Todd, right? Todd lost.
Todd, yeah.
So Drennan gets to pick out his loss,
his punishment.
His punishment. So he's going to have a professional wrestler pick out his punishment for losing a bet.
All right.
So I think this week will be the most
I think it's a bigger
anticipating one.
Probably a bigger dildo dart.
What I'd like to bet with you guys as we leave.
Oh,
What can we
What
can
are
we
you gonna
bet? I don't know. I just what do you guys think? What do we got coming up? The problem is I know most about the NFL. I don't know anything about basketball and stuff, but is there anything coming up that we can at least propose a bet?
We got
'cause I'll know
hockey's going on right now.
Yeah, hockey is going on.
hockey,
UFC.
Like they said, it's basketball time.
Is there any NFL futures? That'd be a long time to pay off.
What about where somebody's going to go?
Yeah. Oh,
You always do that, JJ Watt.
yeah. Do you guys?
Deshaun Watson.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think I know.
That's a fascinating one.
And the last time I checked, who was the front runner for Deshaun Watson? I think it was Broncos, maybe, with the best odds. Anyway, you want to bet on where Deshaun Watson goes?
We can do that. Yeah.
What's the stakes
I'm
here?
warming my mayonnaise. Hold on.
Is it a mayonnaise? Is it a? Well,
Yeah.
I don't even know the details on dildo dart.
Yeah.
I'm a little skeptical.
Well, no, that's a man named
Stakes
Dildo
are
Dart.
who's on our show if he loses.
What
You
is
want us to put mayo on the dildo dart? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
How many times can we say
We can do that just for
Dildo
you, Tom.
Dart? I don't know.
I have no idea anymore.
We'll sanitize it for you.
There you go. Put a mask on it.
You should come on the show if you lose.
There you go. Tom will come on the show if he loses.
Yep.
If you lose,
is there any sort of movie that maybe didn't get released that you have?
Oh my God.
Well, I'm just saying. No, I don't know. Wow. Mr. Feedback like that.
I don't think he did. He was like, he was appalled. He was like, I never. Good day, sir. Yeah, he became like an old lady in a carriage, and he was like, I have never been more offended. You ask Liz Taylor for an unreleased bukkake video? Well, I bet you. Good day, Dildo Dart. Good day. That's what he did.
I'm backing out of this bet because there's too much unknowns. I don't even. I feel like
come on.
no, we'll call you back when I figure out the bet. I have to have an edge if I'm gonna bet.
Okay. Where can people find your podcast if they want to download, like, and subscribe?
Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, what is it?
Amazon and Google.
Yeah, Amazon,
There you
Google,
go.
it's everywhere. It's on 39 different platforms.
So check it out. Guys, thanks so much for the time. We really do appreciate it. And we'll be talking to you soon about Tom's bet, okay?
Yeah, we'll call you. I'll figure it out.
All right, cheers,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
See ya.
anytime, guys. Be good.
See ya.
That is Liz and Mr. Feedback live from the Dildo Dungeon.
That was interesting.
There you go. Well, we
really zoomed in on the weenie, and I was like, "Oh boy, we gotta pull it off before Twitch gets."
No, I
us.
already pulled it.
Yeah,
I already got in there. While that happened, I went in, cut it, and deleted it.
See, maybe this is a testament
Be
to
careful what you
lack
wish
of.
for. You wanted that, and then you got it, and you were scared
backed out.
of it. You were scared of it.
No, well, there's nothing I could think of
I know.
to bet. Anyway, that was a classic case of I didn't know what I was walking into. I didn't do my research.
I like that.
I just looked at Liz's pictures and then Travis was looking at it too. Travis was looking at it too.
Oh my
he's
God.
still in there looking
Yeah,
at
he's
it.
still in there looking at it with the door shut.
And then I just came into the interview
Oh my
without
God.
knowing what the show
What
was
do
about.
What do I do?
Amazing.
I'll just do it in the helmet.
I didn't know there's going to be. I almost called him
Feedback?
Dr. Darko.
I don't know what I thought.
Wasn't Donnie
hold on.
Darko.
I thought we were talking to Fritz and Liz.
I thought
Taylor.
we were talking to Dirt and
And then I
Liz.
thought it was Third Liz Taylor. Then it was what appeared to be Steven Tyler or James Eha from the Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah.
He looked like James Eha
yeah,
from the Smashing Pumpkins.
Then-
he's a cool looking guy though. He had cool hair, but I didn't know who he was.
I didn't either.
Then I'll explain to you what happened. So then I
And
started.
then you're like, oh, where's my mayonnaise?
I thought it was like a straight sports. Only sports podcast where they did like deep
Only
dive.
sports.
When,
I know what you mean. Only sports. You're so horny today.
I'm not.
I thought she was going to show me her only sports.
I didn't realize there was like a fun goof gambling part of it.
What
that,
do we do here that's not fun?
Almost everything.
I'm trying to bring the fun back again, but I can't.
He doesn't want it.
Dude, you've
What?
changed. You've changed. You're
I want
different.
fun.
Your
No.
wife's right. No, you were.
No, she's wrong.
No, she's right. I've witnessed it.
No.
And I have to take back everything I ever said bad about the
See?
crow. In fact, I can never call her the crow ever again.
Well, you know
she's
what?
the dove.
You don't like a 5-mile walk in the mud?
I did like it. I did like it. That's what's
what
wrong.
I did for my GD birthday.
That's what I did like.
Oh, that sounds
And
terrible.
if you want to hear about a 5-mile mud walk,
You did a tough mutter?
tune in Friday.
It was worse
Hear
than
about
that.
it
Yes.
was called an unfortunate mutter.
Aw.
Tom is now he's the owner of the unfortunate mutter.
Not even a goddamn Bud Light at the end.
We got back to the boat. There was no booze whatsoever. It's a dry boat.
Just drive.
And then our
Slow
wives,
driving.
then our wives are talking behind us while we're driving. They're like, "We're so proud of him for not drinking." I know. I haven't bought any. Daniel only dabbles in those White Claw 70s occasionally. Oh, they're so good.
Yeah,
We're
we're
bored. We're bored. Shut up.
All right. Anyway, so that's what happened. I didn't know what was going on, and so I was like trying to figure it out as I go. No way to host a.
I mean, you
radio
could just
show.
listen to what I tell you before the
You know what
interviews.
stinks now is I can't hide. I used to lean in.
That's what you're
And
trying
I
to
was trying to hide. And I
Yeah.
used to be able to lean in and lean out of frame so our guests couldn't see us. And then, like, my excuse to you guys would be I'm doing some serious business over here. But now I can't hide anymore because our cameras are always on us and they can see us.
Because I was.
I got to quit. I quit the show.
You can't. I don't know how to use this.
Well, I'll teach you. I got 2 weeks. I'll teach you.
He
You
can
always-
learn
I don't know
anything
how
in
to
2
do it.
weeks.
You always
I
say you
don't know
can
how
do
to do
anything in 2 weeks.
No, it's
Yeah.
a lie. That's a lie.
I
You knew it was a lie.
I put
Finally,
it-
you admit it.
I put in my
God.
2 weeks
Finally.
I'll train Travis on it.
No, he don't know
knows
nothing.
how to do it. If he can get his head out of the, if he
Porno.
can get his head out of Cloud City over there.
Because,
Oh,
that was
we
Corona.
mighta got- we
That's
gotta
straight
go.
Corona, my God.
no, it's a-
Lick my hand. Can you taste my hand? Quick, lick my face.
lick my lips.
lick my face. Do you taste my aftershave? If you do, you're okay.
Oh, okay, gotta get out of here. Bye bye.